on a warm Sunday early afternoon in Anaheim. Welcome to Sunday Leadoff on Peacock, presented by Ford. We've got the final game of a three-game series. These two teams have seen a lot of each other lately. Zach Neto and the Angels, nice win last night over the A's to even up the series after Shea Langoliers and the A's took the game on Friday night. So the deciding game of this three-game set here on Sunday. And hi, everybody. Welcome inside the booth. Dave Fleming alongside Dallas Braden, who pitched his entire big league career with the A's, longtime television voice of the A's as well. Mark Gubizzo, who's been around here for how long? You've been doing Angels games for how long?
20 years now. 20 years.
Somehow, television voice.
Bay Area legends here, by the way. Appreciate me hanging with you guys.
Great to be together for what should be a spirited game. That's what these two teams do, right? They just play one exciting, tight game after another against one another. Now today, Dallas, the A's lineup does look a little bit different. Nick Kurtz, for only the second time all year, is not in the starting lineup. A couple of the other young guys are beat up. The A's still have a lot of young offensive talent.
They sure do. And like a good party, you need a DJ, you need some Jello shots. That gets the party started. And you can look at the top of the lineup with Henry Bolte, who has been very much a party starter. This guy has incredible defensive skill sets. What I really love about what we've seen from Henry Bolte is the prowess at the plate. He's leading the charge in terms of rookies, in terms of batting average, but this is a guy who, once he gets on base, is a real threat. He can go grab 90 feet with the best of them. But again, I think for him to make the adjustments that he has made, not only defensively, but offensively, to be a stalwart at the top of this lineup, that's really, really important and really impressive for a young fella.
Yeah, the Angels have seen him so much this year. I mean, he does such a great job of going back up the middle on some pitches, going the other way, which, you know, as we know as pitchers, that's a nightmare when you make your quality pitch, yet he's making good contact, putting it in play, and with his speed, there's a good chance he's either first or second.
You know, one of the guys who is in the lineup for the A's today, going to do the catching for Aaron Savali, the starter. Shea Langoliers having another really good year, one of the better power hitters in the American League. Earlier this morning, Shea sat down to chat with our John Fanta.
Shea, let's start with the lineup. Why has this group gelled offensively?
Yeah, I mean, it's just, you know, to start with, it's a close group of guys. We like working together. We like being together. We kind of, you know, expectation coming to this season was definitely higher than it has been in years past, and we know what we're capable of, and it's been a lot of fun so far.
When you step to the plate, what's the biggest thing you're stressing to yourself right now?
Yeah, it's just, you know, trying to keep thing as simple as possible, swing at good pitches to hit, and just make sure I'm getting my A swing off, being on time.
You're catching for Aaron Savali this afternoon. What stands out to you the most about working with Aaron?
Yeah, Aaron is a super smart guy. He knows what he wants to do. Obviously, he's got, you know, 6-7 pitch mix. He's been doing it for a long time, had a lot of success. So it's kind of like just him communicating with me, me communicating with him, how we want to attack guys, what we want to do, and yeah.
Thanks for the time.
Yeah, thank you.
Dave?
All right, thanks to Shea, thanks to John. Aaron Savali, there he is, getting ready for this Sunday start for the A's in Anaheim before the A's finally get to go back home to Sacramento. How about our keys to the game, brought to you by Microsoft 365 with Copilot. The big news of the weekend happened on Friday. It really happened. Surprised a lot of people, the timing of it. Right before the game on Friday, the Angels announced they fired their general manager, Perry Manassian, who'd been around for 5+ years. John Mozeliak, longtime baseball guy with the Cardinals, the interim GM. He's going to try to help make some decisions here, Gooby, for the Angels, maybe shepherd them into a new era. There have been some positives for this Angels team this year. What do you think top of the list for John and his crew is?
I think it's player development, and I think when you look at his track record, Mo, he's been a winner. 16 seasons winning with the Cardinals, 10 seasons in the postseason, won a World Series in 2011. When you have that kind of pedigree and you have some young players, Denzer Guzman has been fantastic. Zach Neto, Nolan Schanuel, you have some pieces in there, but it all starts at the bottom. When you have success in your minor league level, you work your way up to the big leagues. Every single one of these players that will eventually come up to the show will know how it feels to win. And it's been a while for the Angels to win, so that's why it's so important to have that bottom foundation set. And his track record says he's one of the best in the game.
Yeah, indeed. All right, well, both these teams in the American League West, the most tightly bunched division in all of baseball. And let's get to some highlights from some games earlier that have already started on this Sunday. We'll start in Cleveland. The Mariners, first place team in the division against the Guardians.
Well, I tell you, the Mariners, there is a team that I think came into the season with high expectations. You see Cal Raleigh coming around and scoring off the RBI knock from Mitch Garver. A couple catchers in the lineup, and they had sorely missed Cal Raleigh. But to get him back, I feel like their offense feels like they're just that much more competitive these days.
So the Mariners have a 3-0 lead. How about in Detroit, the Tigers hosting the Houston Astros?
Yeah, and the Astros are one of those teams, every year you think, okay, maybe this is the final year they kind of fall apart. They got Hunter Brown back, even though he gives up a home run to McKinstry here. They have Yordan Alvarez, who is the most dominant player outside of Nick Kurtz in baseball right now, especially in the American League. They can certainly win a bunch of games.
Meanwhile, up in Toronto, the Rangers finishing out a series against the Blue Jays. Big Jock Peterson takes one deep.
And how about Jock? This was a guy who I think for a lot of folks were wondering just how much longer he was going to be able to hold on. And as you mentioned, Clem, you've got the AL West that is as tightly contested as any division in baseball. The standings right there tell the story. The Rangers hoping that they can continue to make a push here into the midsummer.
I mean, I think that's part of the reason the Angels made the decision they made. They were one hot streak away from being in the middle of the race.
And I may date myself a little bit. I remember 1984, my first season, we won a division with 84 wins. So that's why you always feel a move here, a move there, a decision here. All of a sudden, you have that winning streak.
All right, we're counting down to first pitch. It's the A's and the Angels from Anaheim. Back right after this.
Sometimes the game hands you an unfortunate outcome.
Yeloff might have been stepped on. Oh, man, look at his hand. A 24-game hit streak comes to an end.
Or, on the other hand, a career day.
That's 11 runs batted in for Dansby Swanson.
And while some teams save their best for last,
Ninth inning magic strikes again.
others will have to wait for another day altogether.
Unbelievable. The sixth infield error for the Mets tonight.
Seems not everyone got the memo. A unique rhythm is playing in the Bronx.
What are they messing with dirt can? Only Jazz Chisholm Jr. who cares.
But this Jazz has some pop.
See ya! A home run for Jazz Chisholm Jr.
So to speak.
He wants to enjoy sucker.
You never know who or what might give you a boost.
Here comes a homer.
Or a spark.
Why is Pikachu there? What is that about?
Good luck.
It is?
There's the drive.
The power of Pikachu.
And these guys, well, they got to catch them all. In the end, it was the bats that delivered the knockout blow. And if the Pups are still around, you might want to spell that one out. W-A-L-K off.
It was not a boring week, was it? Man, a lot going on across the big leagues, including here in Anaheim with the news we already talked about on Friday with this Angels front office, as the A's and the Angels will wrap up a three-game series here this afternoon. Time now for the FanDuel same-game parlay for today's game. So what are they looking at? How about the A's to lead after 5 innings, over 4.5 runs? Both these teams have been high-scoring offenses lately. I think that seems to be a theme there. Game total over 9.5 runs. It's a warm day. Should be a good day to hit. Play your game on FanDuel. MLB fans, FanDuel is inviting you to call your shot with Daily Dinger. Make sure your free pick on who's hitting a home run in their game. If you're right, you'll get a profit boost the next day. Play your game on FanDuel, the home of home runs. All right, we're almost there. First pitch time just moments away. The A's and the Angels back for the lineups at first pitch after this.
Here's the pitch.
Here in Anaheim, and look who that is on the mound. 1989, Mark Gubicza.
That was so much fun. I remember Vince Scully and President Reagan being in there. Bo Jackson says hello. And I'm down there in the bullpen sitting next to Nolan Ryan, and I'm just wearing him out. And finally, he couldn't wait to get in there to pitch just so I would stop talking to him. But it was a lot of fun down there. It was a magical moment. That was when the Bo nose hysteria was going crazy at that point.
First hitter of the game, and the president called a Bo Jackson home run.
Yes, that was unbelievable there, too. But it was so many great, I look back, so many great Hall of Fame players. You didn't realize they were going to be Hall of Fame players at that point, but just to be able to sit there and have conversations with.
Well, Gooby, what I take away from that is the look on the great late Ryan Sandberg's face when what was that? That slide piece locked up. That's what that was.
Got lucky on that one, Dal. Every once in a while you get lucky, even a backup slide on that one there.
All right, so now here we are in 2026 with the Angels and the A's, and the final game of this three-game series. Many of the players from Venezuela wearing that little logo on the side of their caps. Obviously, our thoughts are with all the folks. Venezuela is such a great baseball country. So many people in this game have been impacted by two devastating earthquakes. It's been on the minds of everybody around the game all week long.
Yeah, when Peraza came in the pinch hit last night, we had so much in his heart and soul when he came up there, got a base hit there, and you could feel just pointing up to the heavens that hope that everyone's doing okay back there in Venezuela.
Yeah, you understand what they're going through. The players have made a commitment to this game, and unfortunately, at times that takes you away from your family. So, without a doubt, thoughts and prayers with everybody in Venezuela who's been affected by this, especially the players, as I said, removed from their families that still have a job to do.
Remarkable the fortitude it takes to concentrate and do your job with all that going on. So we've seen it firsthand. So many of these guys are so concerned about what's going on.
Yeah, when you're separated, just like these guys are saying, it's hard because you feel like your job is always to take care of everything, and when you're not there to be able to be part of that, makes it even more difficult to remain focused, especially when you're dealing as a hitter trying to deal with a 100-mile-an-hour fastball, or if you're on the mound trying to throw strikes.
And that's what's nice, I think, about being able to show up to the ballpark, be surrounded by teammates who love you and adore you and are those shoulders to lean on and cry on, because once the ball game starts, you hope you're in your happy place and everything can kind of go away, at least for the time being.
It's the vibe you get around both these teams. Two managers who know each other very well, Kurt Suzuki, Mark Kotsay, who have developed sort of that family feel, I think, on both sides. As the Angels take the field on this Sunday afternoon in Anaheim, and their young left-handed starting pitcher is out on the mound. Our pitcher profile presented by Ford. You like this kid, Gooby?
Yeah, I mean, he's not going to wow you with velocity, but he will pound the fastball in. His changeup is electric. His slider's been good. His cutter's the one pitch it sets up his changeup. But he's going to be out there. He's going to battle you all the way through. If he has a feel for his changeup, and a lot of times as a left-handed pitcher in a day game here at the Big A, if you have your changeup working, that could be a good game for you.
And if you've never seen him before, Sam Aldegari, I mean, he has an amazing story. He's the first born and raised player from Italy. This is a kid who was born there, grew up there, learned baseball in Italy, first one to come to the big leagues.
And when you look at his mechanics and how he pitches, he's so smart on the mound and everything is so fluid. You wonder, hey, how did he learn this so well over there in Italy? But he is a real good, I mentioned competitor, but he's got great mechanics to go along with it.
Yeah, the power of the internet. He watched a lot of videos as a kid, and he studied those well. Our starting lineups presented by Capital One. And Dallas, it is a different looking A's starting lineup today, especially without the big guy in the middle.
Yeah, I think no question. You're missing the big bopper in Nick Kurtz, but you're also missing the starting left fielder in Tyler Soderstrom. You're missing the starting shortstop in Jacob Wilson. But we talked to Mark Kotsay before the ball game, and I had mentioned the services provided by Alika Williams here as of late, and really since he stepped up and had to become a more present individual in this lineup, but defensively what he's been able to bring to the table as well. If you're going to have the ball in play, which the A's pitching staff does, you're going to need guys to be able to catch and throw the baseball, something that they did a great job of early. Has been a bit of a struggle here as of late, and Mark Kotsay alluded to as much. But if you have guys throughout the entire defense that you feel pretty confident about, especially Bolte, to go run it down and track it, you feel good about your chances to win ball games.
I'll tell you what, though, these are the games, though, as a pitcher, you really have to be focused, because, I mean, you'd rather face the everyday guys, because you know exactly what you have to pitch. Sometimes there's maybe a little bit of a letdown. It's like facing back in the day with all those Oakland teams when you had Canseco, McGuire, the Hendersons, and everybody else in that lineup. If they weren't in there, you go, you relax, and boom, you look up, you give up 6-7 runs.
Something to watch as we are ready to go. And the young left-hander's first pitch of the day misses to Bolte, a 92-mile-an-hour fastball. Aldegari, not overwhelming power stuff. The numbers of the guy that Dallas you've been talking about a lot already. Just a superb athlete, Henry Bolte. The hit tool was kind of a question as a young player coming up through the minor leagues. He's solving some of those problems.
Well, he is, and I think, Dave, having the opportunity to be with this club throughout the entirety of spring training this year, he was a guy who really, I think, opened a lot of eyeballs. I mean, you look at Nick Kurtz, looks like we're going to have an ABS challenge here.
Call strike is being challenged by the batter.
That's an early challenge.
Pretty close, too.
Very close pitch.
Here's the ball.
Wow.
I think you heard Ben May. I think that was Ben May's voice, yes. The home plate umpire, say, "Oh my gosh."
Yeah. If you're gonna make that challenge early on, you better feel comfortable. But I don't know if I'm comfortable that close.
Now it's 2-2. I was at a game maybe 10 days ago. The young rookie catcher for the Marlins, Joe Mack, good defensive player, confident young man. First pitch of the game, he challenged.
Strong.
First pitch of the game.
That is strong.
Took some guts. He was right. 2-2.
But we were talking about Bolte, and this spring You think about Langoliers, you know about Nick Kurtz, you know about the power of both of those fellas. And for my money, Henry Bolte was hitting the ball just as hard as either one of those guys the entirety of spring. So you started to dream on what was to come.
Well, he got him with a changeup. He thrown all fastballs, and he saved the changeup for the put-away pitch.
It's such a good swing and miss pitch at times. He's all about mainly soft contact. And you know, I've seen that changeup for you, Dallas, many, many years. Your goal is to get him towards the end of the bat or just hit on top of the ball or just get him off balance. And that changeup was excellent right there. He's got a really good one if he establishes his fastball early, and he did so in that at bat against a good hitter in Bolte.
So now Meneses, who hits the first pitch hard on one hop, backhanded by Neto, who slings it over to first, 2 down.
Well, you look at that changeup, really, when you think about how hard he throws it and the exit velocity whiff percentage. I mean, it's jumped up quite a bit. Part of it is fastball, but also showing his cut fastball enough. Dallas, you know that if you don't show inside, that makes that changeup not as good because they can cover the outside part of the plate.
And Gooby, you nailed it. You have to establish in and off if you're going to get your outs away. And for a guy who is more than willing to throw that changeup anywhere, anytime, that's going to be the bread and butter. But it's got to start with what you're able to do inside to brush these hitters back and keep them honest.
Ball 1 to Langoliers, who takes a strike with the curveball. Well, it's something to watch because, Gooby, you've seen so many games over the years here. The day game changeup effect, you think is real.
Yeah, there's so many hitters, and I always give hitters grief. I said everything's so hard to hit, but they said that the glare on day games for left-handed pitchers that have good changeups, they just don't see the ball out of the hand. It's the background. They have a tougher time reading the baseball from a changeup.
Here's the 2-1 to Langoliers, and he rips a base hit into left field. A low line drive on that changeup. He saw that just fine. A 2-out single.
Well, he's really good on pitches downstairs, isn't he?
Well, he sure is, Gooby, and I think credit to him because he's able to wait back. And on a guy who you know is going to flip a changeup up there, probably 1 or at least 2 times in the at-bat, you're trying to tell yourself, just stay back, give myself a fighting chance to be able to get to that, to the point about not being overwhelmed by velocity. You know the changeup is his out pitch. If you can give yourself a chance with the hands, you got a chance in the at-bat.
So 2 down, and Jonah Heim, he's the DH today for the A's and the cleanup hitter, switch hitter. Very high, ball 1. Jonah Heim's having a nice little resurgence here with the A's.
Well, very familiar with the green and gold. Originally a part of the Athletics family. Made his way over to Texas, won a World Series, became a Gold Glove defender. And to have him back, I mean, he stepped up in some big moments already this season, twice coming off the bench, hitting some big homers. And I think for Jonah Heim, the fact that he provides power from both sides of the plate and in terms of preparation from a catching standpoint, still one of the best going.
He's got himself ahead of the count 2-0 here in the first inning, and he pulls one sharply. Nice stab by Guzman, and he'll go to second to get the force out there. That was a good play because that one looked like it was headed for left field.
He's a shortstop by trade, playing third base. His hands are exceptional, so is the footwork at third base.
Angels could use some better defense. That was a really nice play. Scoreless after a half inning. Presented by 4. The A's started today. Aaron Savali.
Yeah, Aaron Savali, veteran right-hander, cutter-heavy arsenal. I think he's done a great job in terms of being able to get ahead of guys early. First pitch strike rate about 66%. Remember the average 62% across the big leagues. So if you can dial up strike 1, if you don't have the overpowering stuff that neither one of these starters today possess, you give yourself a chance to finish the at bat. Something else that he's been good at, but you got to watch out on the first pitch because he has been hurt, and he's been hurt often there. 543 batting average against Aaron Savali on the first pitch.
Quick look at our starting lineup presented by Capital One.
Yeah, it's all set around really for me for Zach Neto. He's the guy that jumps that first pitch fastball as good as anybody. He's hit some of the very best pitchers of all time out. Skubal, Verlander, you name it, Jacob deGrom.
He's ready to swing, isn't he? He pulled that one. He's just a little too quick.
He woke up this morning and go, hey, Savali's giving up 6 home runs on the first pitch put in play. It's over 1,700 OPS. There's a good chance I'm swinging at the first pitch.
The power number is really impressive. We're right about at the halfway point of the year. Teams, depending on the team, either 1 or 2 games past the midway point. So you can basically double offensive numbers and have a good idea about what pace a player's on. It's a good home run pace. Neto out to left center. one of the big parts of the ballpark, and Bolte underneath it for out number 1.
He's a guy that, if you look at his ground ball percentage, he's under 30% ground ball rate. So there'll be a lot of fly balls. Warm afternoon like today, that could result in some opportunities to drive the ball out of the ballpark for the Angels today.
Well, Gooby, that's a great point, because I think when you start to look at some of the numbers for Savali at home compared to on the road, those numbers look very, very different. And a lot of that has to do with the ball in the air, especially at a ballpark that plays like the moon.
So here's Guzman taking high. We talked about his defense in the top of the first inning, made a good play over at third base. He's moved up in the lineup.
Yeah, and he's showing some pretty good power too. He had great numbers down in AAA. Even last year at a call-up, he had a couple home runs, but early on he was struggling as far as batting average, but he had a lot of baseballs right on the button, but it weren't falling through. Now he's starting to drive the ball exceptionally well.
A young player chased up there, that cutter, 1-1.
He had 3 straight games of home runs up there at West Sac. You know, that's a good park to hit in. As you
Not a bad place. Not a bad place to hit.
And it definitely explains some of those numbers, Dallas. We showed him right at the start with Savali. The home road splits are extreme. He was out in front, Guzman was, and pops it up to short. 2 down. Those numbers are not different for a lot of A's pitchers. I mean, a lot of A's pitchers are struggling in Sacramento. It's just a tough place to pitch.
Well, I think it's safe to say that it's really 2 different ball clubs when you think about the performances, not only from an offensive perspective, but also on the mound, because you look at some of the statistical categories, and for the pitching staff, significantly better away from the home ballpark.
Look at that number there beneath our score graphic. The massive difference, team earned run average, home and away. Over 6, under 4, home versus road.
And I also, my eyes avert to what the bullpen has been able to do on the road compared to at home. I mean, we're talking top 2, top 3 bullpen as far as ERA goes on the road.
That one from Nolan Shonowell. Another pop-up into left center, kind of in that triangle. It's Bolte who takes charge and makes the catch. So Aaron Savali, hey, pitch it on the road. He likes it. Quick first inning for him.
Did you know?
Then Butler, then Muncy. A lot of hitters on this A's team have a lot of power.
You're absolutely right, Dave. And I think, I mean, look, for my money or for your money at home, I think Colby Thomas is a guy who possesses a lot of power, just kind of starting to climb out of a little funk that he's been in. But Max Muncy, playing the hot corner today, is a guy who's got very good power, and he's got power to all fields. He's one of the more impressive guys to watch for me during batting practice, because he just wears out right center. And if you're here early in Anaheim, you've gotten a few balls over these last 3 games.
Butler's the one guy, if you're an Angel fan, I'd be concerned about, because he's got 7 career home runs against the Angels, and he's had some pretty good swing. You talk about a guy with some bat speed. If he can lift one in the air today, it could go a long way.
Very important player for the A's, I think, who's on deck, Lawrence Butler. With all the other injuries starting to pile up, they need more from him. 1-2 the count to Thomas. No score, top 2. Just inside. Trying to establish that inside corner. 2-2.
Well, to your point about Lawrence Butler, understanding that there's not some of those other big boppers in the lineup today, this is a guy who, when he's going good, he makes this lineup significantly longer. And there's guys that have the ability to carry lineups, not necessarily saying that Lawrence is that individual quite yet, but when he gets hot for a 2 or 3 week stretch, I mean, he feels like he's the best player on the planet.
I mean, he's dynamic because he can run and everything else too, with that power he has. So, and he's a solid outfielder with a good throwing arm, so he can do a lot when he's locked in.
He'll be up next. 2-2, way up and outside. Kurtz is out of the lineup just for today. Just a very rare rest day for Nick Kurtz, who's turned into one of the best sluggers in the game. Only the second time not in the starting lineup all year for Kurtz on the left there, looking at the iPad. I have a feeling we're going to see him in this game somewhere, somehow. Well, he's stuck with the changeup, and he strikes out Thomas. But on the A's side, Tyler Soderstrom's got a little hip issue. Jacob Wilson's got injury problems. Zach Gelof's going to be out for a while with a hand injury. That's a lot of the young hitting talent that's not in there today, banged up.
And to your point about needing to see more from guys, I think Lawrence, as you said, you know, appropriately, is an individual that you would love to see start to put some quality at bats together, and we've seen that. I talked about what he did last night against Reed Detmers, coming off the bench cold after Soderstrom kind of left the ball game not feeling too great with the lower half, and was able to log a walk and a knock against a tough left-hander, blowing 96.
This guy, different style pitcher, and Butler's behind in the count 0-2.
And he's not afraid to go left on left changeup. I think that is still one of the best pitches. The first guy I ever saw do that was one of my old teammates, Charlie Liebrand. We asked him about it. He goes, why would I not? The best case scenario is if they make contact, it's going to be off their foot or they're going to pull a foul. A lot of times they'll swing over top it, as you know that, Dal.
Well, and conceptually, how often as a young kid coming through Little League to high school, whether it's Legion ball, travel ball, you get to college and throughout pro ball, are you attacked soft, left on left, soft coming to you?
Butler lines one to right, and Adele backs up. Well, Adele just, I don't know if he didn't get a read on it or what. He took a few steps backwards, and the ball ended up just maybe 10 feet in front of him.
Yeah, because that baseball had some serious exit velo and nearly 108 off the bat, so he was able to get that slider middle part of the plate. Caught in between. Sometimes you'll see that as an outfielder caught in between, going in there trying to get it in the air. All we know is he goes real well over the wall, though.
He does.
Wow.
He had an all-time game here earlier this season, Joe Adele. Robbed 3 in one game, which is like basically has never happened. Max Muncy fouls this pitch out of play.
I remember watching that game at home, sitting on the couch, and I see the first play happen. Wow, that's impressive. I see the second one, I'm going, no, okay, no way. And then as soon as that last one was hit, I think me and everybody else that was watching goes, it's happening. This is happening.
An amazing thing in that game, the first time ever in Halo history, Zach Neto led off the game with a home run, and that was all the runs scored.
That was it.
And then he robbed 3 home runs. I mean, when you put that into perspective, you talk about winning a game yourself. He did so.
There's number 2. Number 3 came late in the game with the score still 1-0. It was basically a walk-off defensive play.
Yeah.
It wasn't the final out of the game, I don't think.
No, but I remember this. I couldn't even really describe it. I just laughed. I said it's impossible.
There it was, just incredible. And it's not just that day. I mean, he's
4 times this year.
4 home run robberies. 1-2 to Muncy. And a guy who's swinging the bat well lately. For the Angels, Joe Adele.
Yeah, he had a crazy game. He got hit by a pitch twice yesterday. Triple-double first time again in Angels history that ever happened. I said it was the Gordie Howe.
Foul tip into the mid.
Well, he has been, just from the opposite side of things, Scooby, he has been a real fun talent to watch develop, because I know there were questions early about whether or not the bat was going to play and what kind of adjustments he was going to be able to make, knowing the power that laid within.
That one into left field, base hit. That's the 3rd hit for the A's. That was a changeup, and Muncy was on it.
That's why you got to, you keep establishing that fastball. When you throw that changeup, you got to fade almost off the plate. See if you get it, especially a young hitter, to go after it out of the strike zone. As a hitter, if you can get pitches in the strike zone, that gives you a better chance to make good contact. Dallas Keuchel once said his job every single game was to get you to swing at non-strikes, and that's what your goal is on the mound. There are some guys that have that. The Miz can just throw right down the middle. They say lights out, forget it. I can even tell you what's coming. But the most mortal pitchers, like we were, you're trying to get him to swing at non-strikes.
Mizorowski, 3rd pitch of the game earlier this week, 105.5.
And he slipped.
Yeah, he said, I got a little more in the tank. Jeff McNeil, first pitch swinging, hits a pop-up. And the center fielder Lowe comes running in to catch it, and McNeil cannot believe it. On one pitch, he's out number 2.
Jeff McNeil has proven to be a fiery competitor over the course of his career, and I think it's been a very welcomed addition for this athletics club because of how he's able to motivate and I think show up each and every day and put together the hard work routine that some of these younger players are able to emulate and feed off of.
He's got a great edge, doesn't he? I mean, every time he doesn't feel he has a good at bat, you can tell he's not happy about it.
He's a batting champion in his career.
Yeah.
9th place hitter Alika Williams swings over top, the first pitch changeup. This guy, depending on the long-term outlook for Jacob Wilson, he could end up being really important for the A's. He might be playing a lot here.
When I think something that you do have to consider is even whether or not Jacob Wilson is back sooner rather than later, this is a guy who I think has proven that he can be an important depth piece to this club and their journey, hopefully, into the postseason.
Another pop-up. A bunch of those in the first 2 innings. fighting the sun. And Grissom makes the catch, out number 3. Youth initiative to highlight the fun and accessible ways to play our great game. To learn more, including how to find a league near you, scan that QR code or go to playball.org and follow @playball on X, Facebook, and Instagram. What are we looking at there? Well, that was Super Motocross right here in Anaheim before they opened their season all the way back in January. The SMX World Championship continues all summer into the fall on Peacock and NBC. Kind of cool to see this field turn into something very different than what it looks like right now.
Extremely loud. It's going to be in the front row to a Black Sabbath concert. Is that loud there for that? It's so cool. Everyone loves it.
Bring your earplugs. Joe Adell against Savali. Had a real quick first inning. And Adell is ahead in the count 2-0.
Surprising Joe Adell not swinging at the first pitch. You go back to his last 2 seasons, 23 home runs on the first pitch put in play.
It's an aggressive swinging group. Chop that one foul. Well, Kurt Suzuki's talked a lot about it. You see that swinging rate, highest, among the highest in all of baseball. If he just swings at strikes, he's a really good player. Now, you could say that about anybody, but he swings at a lot of pitches that are not strikes. If he could, Suzuki talking about just tighten it up, just be a little more selective.
Been a lot better with 2 strikes though. He's used the middle field the other way. He's got really good power, even the right center field. He can just make somewhat good contact and it'll fly a long way that way.
He's ahead in the count 3-1. He hits that one way up there to center field. Bolte back onto the warning track for out number 1.
Now, is that trouble in West Sac?
That's trouble. You're probably getting a new baseball bat. And I think, again, to Savali's credit, it's a guy who, and I think much like hitters, right? The good ones don't stray from their approach. And I think that's the challenge for pitchers who play in a ballpark, kind of like the Athletics do, kind of like the Colorado Rockies do. It's very tough to become somebody you're not in a very quick instance and completely flip the script in how you attack hitters. And if you're just somebody who does not generate ground balls at a high rate, it's tough to just wake up every 5th day and go, you know what, today I am going to be a ground ball pitcher, especially if your arsenal doesn't lend itself to that.
Claude Grissom playing first base today for the Angels, ahead in the count 1-0. Well, the good news is that when the A's move to Vegas, all those issues will go away, right? It's going to be a great place to pitch for sure, guaranteed.
Well, as we found out, that might not necessarily be the case. The good news is it's going to be about 1,000 feet lower than the series that the A's played against the Brewers and against the Rockies there. There will be a cover on that ballpark, so it's going to be indoors. There will be a humidor that those baseballs are going to be resting in. So there's a few elements that will be different.
Okay.
But I tell you, Dave, that was one of the more interesting things that popped up after you watch kind of how that first game went. I mean, 15-14, talking about Jonah Heim stepping up. He hit a ball, 48-degree launch angle, 94 off the bat. The second baseman for the Brewers went back to make a play on it, and then it ends up leaving the ballpark. You're going, uh-oh.
Oh, boy. 1-2 and a foul ball.
That would have been right at you yesterday.
Gooby, I make the play.
I know, you made it. You would have been. I would have been in there watching you, high-fiving you.
This might be the #1 ballpark for broadcast booth foul balls.
Oh yeah. Oh, definitely. Now, you've had relationships with a lot of these different pitchers in there in conversations. How difficult is it for them when they're pitching at home?
Well, it's something, and you know, Gooby, to try to block out the noise, and whatever that noise may be, right? Whether it's a guy who's owned you, whether it's in a ballpark that hasn't been necessarily friendly to you, you got to figure out a way to just kind of eliminate that and go about your business. And I think for these guys, that has been the difficult task so far this season, because again, to their credit, they know what they do well. But part of being able to figure out that puzzle of the ballpark that you pitch in consistently, that's where I think being able to take some data and extract.
Base hit left center field for Grissom. That was good at bat.
He's really done a nice job already. He's career high as far as home runs, RBIs, hits. getting a chance to play a lot more since coming up as a huge prospect with the Braves before getting traded for a pretty good pitcher, Chris Sale. So that's not a bad guy to be traded for.
There's so much pressure when you get traded for a guy as good as Chris Sale. There's so much pressure in your new organization, and maybe it took Vaughn Grissom going somewhere that wasn't Boston, where he doesn't have that hanging over him, to kind of unlock some of that talent.
He's had a lot of big hits for the Angels this season. It's been really good with runners in scoring position also.
Grissom at first. Wade Beckler, another young player for the Angels, at the plate. Started off his Angels career with a bang. Made a heck of a first impression.
All-time first inning. Slides into the short wall over there. I was thinking, oh, he's going to be done right away. He went in there hard. And then that bottom of the first inning, oh, I hit my first major league home run off of Jacob deGrom. 3-run blast. This is a bomb off him, too.
Pretty good start to the big league career.
Yes.
Meckler, a little jam shot, foul.
And his favorite player growing up, that posts all over his room, Mike Trout. First game he's out there, and Mike Trout's in center field, he's in left field. I mean, that had a feel. And the smile on his face, and you can just tell it wasn't easy for him even breathing out there that first inning.
Guy is sort of the opposite of Mike Trout in terms of his journey. I mean, he was cut from his college baseball team. The coach said, there is no room for you. You got to go somewhere else. And he refused to leave at Oregon State. He just didn't take no for an answer.
Well, you know what, and credit to him for that, because I think in a day and age today where so many players are looking for the bigger, better deal, looking for the easiest pathway to the next level, it takes a lot of integrity and a lot of character to buy into who you are, buy into the program, and I think there's a big reason why he finds himself here today in the big leagues.
So Ollie paying attention to Grissom over there.
Well, he's given up 4 stolen bases, 2 have been caught, but the difference maker is who's behind the plate here today.
Yeah.
A very good friend to every A's pitcher, Langoliers.
I think this is a shot you might have him on the move now, though. 3-2.
3-2. A guy who doesn't have a ton of swing and miss. A ball's going to be in play, you'd like to think.
Got a hitter up there you trust to get the bat on the ball if it's a strike. But we'll see. Grissom is going, and that's ball 4. Meckler did a good job of not feeling pressure with that runner in motion. Just take the ball. If it's not a strike, he draws the walk.
Well, he doesn't have a big walk number against him, but when he does, though, that's when you feel he's got a chance to give up that crooked number because of the home run ball that he's allowed this season. 13 home runs. Again, part of it, the games you're pitching at home, but still there's that fly ball pitcher, and a fly ball in this spot here, even a warm afternoon, could result in 3 runs.
Peraza from the right side takes a curveball that misses.
You know, it's something else that when you come into this series and you're preparing and you come into today's ball game understanding what Savali does well, that's cut the baseball. Well, the Angels on the flip side of that coin do something pretty well themselves, and that's hit the cutter. 308 average collectively for the Halos, and I think that's something that you do have to consider. To the question that you asked just a little earlier, how do you make adjustments at the home ballpark? How do you make adjustments against a team that sees your best offering well? I think, as Mark Kotze said today before the ball game, you just prioritize execution.
Much longer inning here for Savali. He threw 7 pitches in the first inning. He's thrown 20 here in the second, and he only has 1 out. So a much different story here with 2 on and 1 out.
Pretty good speed on the bases here for the Angels and at the plate in Peraza, who's got some power. If he gets a fastball, he can hit it a long, long way.
Up the middle. Backhand, McNeil, a little double clutch, and not pulled out at first by Meneses. Kind of an awkward stretch and pick, and he couldn't handle it cleanly.
And not having your normal guy at first base, Dal, you've seen him enough. He's a pretty solid defender.
He's a great defender over there. It's Meneses this time around, and Jeff McNeil with maybe a bit of a struggle getting the ball out of the glove. And you can see Meneses almost fielding that ball closer to the foot than further out front, almost outstretched the pick there. And the glove not all the way down on the ground. It was a fairly, in my opinion, easy ball to come up with, and I think Joey will tell you that himself. That'll go down a knock for those scoring at home.
That means bases loaded. Savali is working from the windup. Josh Lowe, left-handed hitter.
Since his recall, he's starting to hit the ball better. He's really struggled first half of the season for the Angels down in AAA. Got a swing together there. Phenomenal athlete, can run. But now all of a sudden he's got 3 hits the last couple of games. He's starting to center the ball up pretty well.
He's never had a grand slam in his big league career. Still only 1 out. Big swing and miss. It's 1-2.
Savali taking a little bit of a backwards approach here. Try to slow him down early and then see if he can't start to charge him up with a fastball. Something that Savali's done a nice job of is elevating later in the count when he's ahead.
1-2. Just got a piece, and then it got a piece of him. Ouch.
It's amazing the different approaches for hitters with the bases loaded. I played with a guy, Pat Talbert, who had historic numbers with the bases loaded. His mindset always was, I just want to drive in 1. That's all I care about. That means up the middle, a sac fly. A lot of other guys think of grand slam.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
I tried to talk us our way through that one.
Yeah, keep talking.
Keep talking, keep breathing.
Yeah.
You'll be all right.
They all got the wind knocked out of him. Well, deep breath. It's easy to laugh when it's not you.
Yeah, oh yes.
That's a big moment. It's still very early in this game. Bases loaded. Pop-up foul, backing out of play. It's also warm enough, bright enough out there. These long innings for a pitcher, even a well-conditioned pitcher. I mean, we're approaching 30 pitches in the inning. It's only 1 out.
Yeah, you're more apt to make a mistake at some point. Your legs give it. Obviously, when you get back in the dugout, you can recharge. But when your legs get a little bit wobbly, that's when you elevate a pitch in the middle part of the plate.
The 1-2. That one is blasted down the right field line, and it is gone. His first career grand slam.
Well, Dave, you throw it out in the universe. That's what ended up happening. That's just a really solid at bat. The cutter, he did a real good job. Talked about how his hands and the confidence in the batter's box has been there the last 3 games. Cutter in off the plate, still brought his hands in and was able to elevate and lift that one out for a grand slam. Just like that, Halo's up 4-0.
That has to be a heck of a feeling, particularly what happened in the middle of that at bat.
Yes.
He recovered nicely. Josh Lowe, what a swing. And I do think, yeah, an inning just goes on, and the A's had a chance to get an out there, didn't get the out. That's been an issue for the A's team. Angels take big time advantage of it.
Well, that makes all the difference in the at bat. Now the 6th Angels grand slam this season, all by 6 different players.
But we go back to your legs get a little wobbly. I don't know if you want that cutter that high up in the zone.
Well, that's kind of what I was getting at, Gooby, is he's done a nice job of elevating late, but if you're going to charge him up and in like that, it's got to be in and off. And if Lowe can get to it and keep the hands close to the body line the way he did and still get the fat part of the bat to it, it can be trouble, and it was.
4 runs on 1 swing.
Now, he knew he got it too. It just matter how far. That went over 400 feet, 403.
Well, this Angels team, they've scored more runs than anybody over the last month. It's not a lot of big names in the lineup. They're finding ways to do it, though.
Yeah, that's their 100th home run as a team on that swing of the bat there. Yeah, Go back to May 22nd, there's no one in baseball better than the Halos scoring runs. That's the thing, you kind of scratch your head like, wait a minute, we have so many different players coming in here. Mike Trout's been out for a bit now. He had been swinging the bat really well. He's really crushing the ball in Arizona before hurting his hamstring.
Heineman, who's a newer Angel, hits a foul ball.
By the way, the team was there before you guys. Baltimore Orioles, Jim Palmer's right next door. And I still have to say this every time, but he never gave up a grand slam in his entire career. Never.
Pitched for a long time.
Yes. I asked him about that all the time. He goes, I'd rather give up 1 run than 4.
That one punched into left field. No. Yes. No. Yes. Muncy came over, looked like he was going to catch it at the last minute, got by him, got by the shortstop. Heineman says, sure, I'll take it. It's a hit.
Well, this turning into quite a laborious inning now for Aaron Savali. That'll bring out pitching coach Scott Emerson. Muncy not able to elevate and make a play. Alika Williams couldn't quite track it down either. And that's just not what you want to have happen after you give up a big shot like the grand slam. Is another base runner finds their way on via a knock. So you're just trying to come out right now and do whatever you can to help put this fire out, or at least kind of douse the flames a bit.
Yeah, I mean, and Heineman just came over in a deal with Toronto. He grew up an Angels fan. He's a phenomenal defender, one of the best in baseball. And when you look at defensive run save, he's over 23 in his career from the catching position. So he handles the staff very well. So any offense you get from him at all is a plus.
You saw the bullpen working for the A's, which is the last thing Mark Kotsay wants. It's been a hard-working A's bullpen lately. But, I mean, at some point, this is 33 pitches in the inning with only 1 out.
We're getting into the territory where you're not going to allow him to go any further. And the opposition's going to have a hand in that, because what the Halos have done here is put a lot of pressure on Savali here early.
If this was a spring training game, they'd already be down the bullpen to bring him back out the next half inning.
Yep, roll it.
He could really, really use a ground ball here. Foul tip.
That's the thing, though, when you're not a ground ball pitcher, as much as you love to be able to put that out there thinking, I'd love to get a ground ball, that's not your strong suit.
Right. How do you do that, right? And I think just having the confidence to be able to try to turn one over, meaning if you got a little sink to it, see if you can turn one over, get Neto to be aggressive and beat one into the ground over to Muncy.
Strike 3 call. They got him with the curveball. Finally, the second out of the inning. He got the first hitter of the inning.
It's kind of backed up on one of those ones you freeze as a hitter. You like to believe you think you tried to do that on purpose. And we all would love to be able to have that pitch in our repertoire, but it freezes hitters all the time when you throw that pitch.
Well, they talk about being able to bottle up that backup slider, that backup curveball, because it's just a pitch that you see spin out of the hand as a hitter. You recognize it. You're expecting it to move a certain way, and it just never gets there.
This is already the longest inning of the year for Savali, trying to navigate his way through it and just maybe stay in this game. Give the A's a little more length. 38th pitch of the inning coming up. Well, maybe he's figured out a way to bottle it up.
Usually when you throw that pitch, you're already looking for a new baseball.
0-2 to Guzman.
Val, you were.
Cuba, you know it too.
I know, because you're trying to make every play. You're like Kelly Leak of broadcasters. You're trying to make every play possible.
I actually, back at the Coliseum, got Trouty. Trouty popped one up to me. I caught it, got him to sign it, which was nice.
All-time great guy, any Trout?
Oh man,
all-time.
One of the best. Just a wonderful, wonderful human being.
40th pitch of the inning coming up right here. And he's going to have to throw number 41. This is the longest inning of his career now.
Your legs got to be this. Oh, it's like you're getting that 25th mile in the marathon. You're going, I don't know if I get that 26th in.
You're looking for the golf cart.
Yes.
Trying to dig deep. Did he go? No.
Well, it's Jose Suarez warming in the bullpen for the Athletics, and you just very well may see him if Guzman's not able to get taken care of here.
If he doesn't get Guzman, I am with you. I think he's coming out of the game.
Well, it is amazing though when you think about it. 7 pitches in the first inning. You're feeling, oh, I feel pretty good. I got 3 fly ball outs, nothing really squared up, and then you look up, and now you're throwing well over 40 pitches this inning, and you're still struggling to even get that final out. We've all been there.
Oh yeah.
Ooh. And then every pitch you make a good one, they foul it off.
Well, these do not help. These do not help at all. You know, we just Gage Jump, young left-hander for the A's, just had a battle in San Francisco. And Dave, you were there. 30 foul balls against Gage Jump in that outing. I mean, that's 2 innings worth of work, Gooby. 30 foul balls.
Savali throws him out, and he got to the finish line in the second inning somehow. One swing of the bat, Josh Lowe, his first career grand slam in the second inning, puts the Angels ahead 4-0.
You know, really one bad pitch to Lowe. We didn't make a play defensively. I thought we, you know, nice play by McNeil at the middle to make that play to get to the ball. You know, it's just unfortunate when you get the out there.
Henry Bolte leads off this inning. Why has he been able to come up and, as a rookie, take over the leadoff spot?
Well, I mean, he's one of our guys that obviously has had success. He's having a pretty solid season for a rookie year. You know, he's been pretty consistent. You know, young player, exciting talent, a lot of speed. You know, somebody that has a chance to really capture that spot.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Dave?
All right, thanks, John. Thanks to Mark Kotze. Long way to go in this game. Bolte at the top of the order for the A's in the third. One swing of the bat, 4 runs, grand slam for the Angels. A true marathon inning. Aaron Savali, longest inning of his career by pitches thrown.
How frustrating as a manager to have to talk about that too, because you're maybe one player so away from everything changing in that inning. That's tough. I mean, he's always been a player's manager guy. He's been an intense competitor, but he also realizes that play's made at first. It's a different game.
And that's it. It's a readily identifiable moment in the ball game where things could have been very, very different. You get that extra out, you cut down the workload for your pitcher, and I think the confidence for your offense, who's now very much on the defensive, shifts as well. And that's why for Aldigueri, all you need to go out right now and do is pump strikes, fill it up early and often, and force this Athletics lineup now to try to put the bat on the ball and continue to garner the weak contact and weak swings you've seen.
Now, we don't know if Aaron Savali, it's possible that Aaron Savali's done for the day. We don't know that for sure. If he's going to stay in this game, I mean, as a team on offense, you got to take a strike, maybe 2 strikes. You got to use your timeout. Every A's hitter's got to do whatever he can to buy a few minutes for your starter.
Which is why, if you're the lefty on the mound right now in Aldigueri, it is that much more important to pound strikes, because nobody, I mean, you think that Meneses, after the inning that just unfolded, wants to go up there feeling like it's 0-1, 0-2 already? Probably not.
Bolte hits one hard to center field. Mr. Grand Slam back there to catch it.
And the thing also, when you look at the Athletics, what they did against the Angels up there, how they came back, well, they know they can come back.
Indeed. By the way, the FIFA World Cup 2026 lights up. The U.S., Mexico, and Canada has been amazing so far until July 19th. Experience every goal, every celebration exclusively in Spanish on Telemundo and Peacock. Some shots of the Angels starting pitcher, Sam Aldigueri, who grew up in Italy, grew up playing soccer. That was his first love as an athlete. And John talked to him about his transition from soccer, football, as he would say it, growing up, to baseball. John, it was kind of a cool story, wasn't it?
It really was. At the age of 4, Sam was looking at his brother Mattia, who said, "Hey, Mom and Dad, I really want to play baseball." Sam's thinking, "I love soccer." Mom and Dad, both hardworking parents, they only had time for one sport for the little guys, and Sam said as a result, he fell in love with baseball, and he fell in love with Clayton Kershaw. Now, he said soccer will always be his first love, but as a result of a lot of Kershaw tape, as a result of a lot of pitching and an older brother's influence, he found baseball. He even told his parents at the age of 10, "I'm going to be a big leaguer someday." Now he's making history.
That's a pretty good guy to emulate. Clayton Kershaw.
Not bad.
Reed Detmers, who we saw last night, that was his hero. You could see by bringing the glove up over his head, the little things that you can see from Clayton Kershaw, the importance of fielding your position, involving your team by throwing a lot more strikes, and going out there and attacking the strike zone and pitching inside.
Pitching.
2 down after Meneses makes a hard out, and Langeliers takes a ball. The serendipity of, kids, we only have time for one carpool. Sam, you're going to your older brother's practice, so I don't care what you want.
Well, guess what, Sam? You're going to the big leagues.
That worked out pretty well.
Yeah. Hey, we've all been there. We know that. When you go to so many times, you can go in that car and drive them to different sporting events to go to.
Yeah.
See, that's that pitch inside. That's what's really, I think, made him better. I mean, his velo it's going to set around 91. He's going to touch 94, but the fastball in. Jamie Moyer was one of the all-time greats as far as breaking bats, and he's throwing about 82.
And that was
breaking bats.
And Gooby, that was a guy. I had my iPad filled up with 2 guys, Mark Burley, Jamie Moyer. Let me see how those guys went about it, because that's where my game was going to come into play. Watching 2 master craftsmen.
2-2. The art of pitching, and I think we see it as much. There's never been a time in baseball where we've had more high-octane power arms ever, but it almost makes the guys who are like this stand out even more. They're more different. Everybody's got guys in the bullpen throwing 97, 98. Every team.
But these are the guys you respect the most too, and your position players, because they're involved in the game. They're all around. Fly balls, ground balls. They're going to be active at some point during the game, as compared to when guys are throwing 100+ miles an hour, just waiting to see when the catcher's throwing the ball back to the pitcher.
Full count here to Langeliers, and he takes a walk. So Langeliers helps his own starting pitcher out quite a bit with a long at bat.
No, it's a great point. That right there is going to give Aaron Savali just that much more time to catch his breath and I think reset, which is important here if you're going to hopefully try to squeeze 3 more innings or so out of Savali, which at this point I think would be the goal.
And on the flip side, Mike Maddox over there in the dugout for the Angels is going 2-out walk. Oh, okay. Believe me, we did that, and we felt that wrath of a pitching coach coming in. And what were you thinking of? Well, I just decided I just wanted to see myself out of the stretch.
Jonah Heim goes after the first pitch and peels 1 foul. I mean, the thing about a rhythm of a big league season and a schedule, the A's have had to use the bullpen a lot. Starters haven't been going deep into games. You're going back home. We know how pitcher unfriendly Sacramento has been. You got the Dodgers coming to Sacramento. No off day tomorrow. I mean, if your starter goes 3 today, there's a cascade. There's a snowball effect.
Well, it's not great, and unfortunately you can start to impact other individuals on a very serious level where, and this is what you hated as a starting pitcher, is if you go out there and you blow up and now you've got to stress the bullpen. Unfortunately, there could be a guy who comes into the ball game, has to wear it, and he's also going to wear a plane ride back to the minor leagues, and that's because you couldn't go out there and get a job done.
I'm on the ground to short. Neto will throw him out at first. So Aldegari retires the A's, and we'll see if Savali, he's going to stay in this game.
What were you thinking as Josh Lowe trotting around the bases for his first career Grand Slam?
Yeah, I thought it was great. Since he's came back up, swinging the bat a lot better. Feel like the decision making, and obviously with the strike zone control has been really good. So really happy for him.
Sam Aldegari has talked about his changeup evolving. How have you seen it evolve?
Yeah, for sure. I think he's become more consistently competitive with it in zone and stuff. It's a good pitch. I think he just got to be more consistent with it in zone, and he's been doing it the last few starts.
What was it like catching Dallas Braden?
That's all I can say is laugh.
Back up to you guys.
Jeez.
Wow. Shots fired. I guess it might be story time, boys.
Yes, I need some stories now. We got a flight up to Seattle. I need some stories.
I don't think Kurt thought that went through. Don't start something. You got the microphone.
That's right. Power of the pin, power of the mic.
You had a distinguished big league career, and you and Kurt Suzuki were minor league roommates. You came up together.
Indeed. Indeed, a lot of fun. Look, I couldn't have landed in a better situation when I got to Vancouver, Canada, because I've got the Johnny Bench Award winner and the runner-up for the Johnny Bench Award winner, and Landon Powell, sitting right there waiting to steer me through the minor leagues. So it was truly a blessing.
Love those old minor league photos and uniforms and whatnot. And then we have photos of stuff like that.
Oh!
Why are we showing that to our audience?
Well, that very well may have been a place that I think instead of receiving my paycheck, I just had a direct deposit shifted over to the Roxy. I don't know that I saw much of my paycheck at that point in time. And I'll say this, that was a place where, you know, Kurt and I would find a nice place to cool off after the ball game. As many of us did. You know about finding a nice watering hole.
Yeah, especially in the minor leagues where you're scrambling to find something you get change for $1.
That's a liner into right field. Shonowell with a leadoff single. So Aaron Savali trying to make this an easier inning after 44 pitches in the second. And it starts off for the Angels with a base hit.
Another well-hit baseball by Shonowell. He's been hot himself lately. That was 103 miles per hour X-Ball. He hits the ball to all fields exceptionally well. Left field will serve it out there. He'll get that 5-6 hole, the Tony Gwynn hole through the infield from the left side. So, but when he turns on the ball, he's got some pretty good pop to it.
And something I love about watching Shonowell play the game is the fact that he will cut his swing down with the best of them. Meaning he's just, the game of baseball tells you what it wants. It's asking for you to do certain things in certain moments, and I think he listens to the game's heartbeat as well as anybody by virtue of what you just said. You'll be spraying a ball to left, doesn't need to take a full swing, but if he can get the hands out and get around a pitch, he can do it with authority. He's one of the more impressive guys I like to watch.
Adele, fly ball left field. That one got in on his hands just enough. Out number 1.
Yeah, the thing with Shonowell too, he always hears the noise. Well, as a first baseman, you should be hitting 25, 30 home runs. That's not his game. In the beginning part of the season, it looked like he was trying to lift the baseball, and it wasn't as consistent. He was really susceptible of breaking balls down and in from right-handed pitchers. Well, now he's starting to stay through it, going the other way. You're exactly right on that, Dal. And Dave, 2 strikes, he's going the other way. When he works the head of the count, that's when he's getting the barrel out. And he's a really good elevated pitch hitter from the left side, which is highly unusual.
It really is. For a left-hander to be able to get on plane, especially get on plane with high velocity, is something that you just hadn't really seen over time. But he is, I think, an exception to that rule.
He's at first with 1 out. Grissom, the hitter, he got the whole rally last inning started. And it wasn't just with a base hit, it was with a long at bat that ended up with a hit, and that set the tone for just a grinder marathon inning for Savali. Trying desperately to be more efficient here in the third. Now the hitter calls timeout. Shonowell was dancing over there at first base.
We always joke around. We think he's invisible over there because he'll just start the run and think nobody's paying attention to him. He hasn't really stolen a base yet this year, but a lot of times he'll go as quick as possible.
Harder contact against Aaron Savali this year than ever before in his career. Fewer ground balls. Never was a huge ground ball pitcher anyway.
Yeah, hard hit balls and hard hit balls in the air. Just not a great recipe to keep the opponent off the board.
And he's not been fully healthy. Missed what he missed 3 weeks or so.
Yep.
And not a big strikeout guy either. So the baseball is going to be put in play for the most part. And in the air, that results in some bad things happening.
That one out to left center. Coming in, Thomas, and now angling back and giving way to Bolte. 2 down.
Let's look at the Capital One Bank guy who suits up every day. And that's key because Capital One cafes are open 7 days a week. What's in your wallet?
2 outs, bottom of the third, 4-0 Angels leading the A's. John, you talked to Aaron Savali yesterday about trying to work through some of these issues.
Yeah, since coming back from that right shoulder tendonitis, Savali told me it's been more mental than anything. He said that sometimes he tries to overcomplicate having the answers to the test, tries to do too much out there. He left from the team hotel this morning an hour before everybody else, and he said, I got to trust in my preparation and not dive so deep into the numbers that it confuses me on what I should be doing, guys.
So he doesn't want to overcomplicate it, but he left an hour before everybody else. So he's still doing a lot of that preparation.
It's almost like he's playing for the tie, right? Like
yeah.
which side of the coin are you going to depend on there? And I can understand because there's so much information, right? We understand the whole paralysis by analysis. I call it the inundation of information. And this is where you're trying to maybe do more than you need to in the moment. And hitters talk about it a lot. Trying to overcomplicate things by looking for a certain pitch in a certain spot based on the count. And at times, I think hitters do have the advantage, Gooby, when they start to dumb it down and go, you know what, I'm just going to go see ball, hit ball.
Yeah, hitters get themselves out so often. The same thing can happen as a pitcher. You're trying to think where I need to throw. It's still the hardest thing in sports. Michael Jordan said the hardest thing ever in sports, and we were talking about the all-time great, was hitting a baseball. So when you're on the mound, regardless of how hard you're throwing, whatever pitch you're throwing, it's still the hardest thing to do. So your mindset always has to be, even if I make a mistake, he can still pop it up, he can still make it out. But when you compound it by doubting yourself, that ball just stays in the middle part of the plate too often.
Meckler battling with him, and a couple tough takes on good curveballs.
Yeah, pretty close pitch, but Meckler, I think something else you see is, as a hitter, you see the pop out of the hand, you see that curveball start to pop, and you can wait back.
Meckler, a line drive base hit to right field. He's got a high fastball.
He hits the baseballs really hard. It's easy. He's a great story, and he's done some really solid things on base twice already today for the Angels.
I mean, think about this. Aaron Savali threw 7 pitches in the first inning. He's about to throw his 70th. It's the bottom of the 3rd.
It's tough. You know, I had a picture, Gooby, and I think you guys can appreciate this. I had a picture that I hung on my bullpen from my rookie year, and it was of the ribbon, the score ribbon around the second deck of the Coliseum. And the reason I had that picture hanging is because it was a picture of my pitch count. It said 45 in the second inning, and I wanted to remind myself that is simply unacceptable. And each and every day I showed up and got dressed, I went out there knowing this right here, this is an expectation that you have to have every time you go out and touch a baseball. These are things that just cannot happen individually that you want to be able to take care of. And so I understand wholeheartedly where Aaron Savali is trying to battle through mentally right now.
Oh, no doubt. And I remember even in spring training time playing golf with a couple of guys for the Braves. They all turned out pretty good with Smoltz, Glavine, and Maddox. And I go, you're down in Atlanta, your hats aren't even, you're not even soaking wet, sweating. He goes, I said, what was the key? I threw a first pitch strike and let the hitters get themselves out. And I was like, wait a minute, it wasn't like I'm throwing 5 or 6 pitches as hard as I can every pitch. He goes, why would you do that? I go, well, I've never been accused of being a rocket scientist, so maybe I'll try that. And I did that, and I'll tell you what, it turned my career around.
3-0, and Peraza, I think, smartly was just taken all the way. The guy who's fighting to stay in this game. 3-1. A lot of deep counts. Angels do that really well. Angels work long at bats almost as well as anybody in the big leagues. This will be the 6th pitch of the at bat coming up.
You're looking down the bullpen, there's no one up, and the batters, I mean, in the on deck circle hit the grand slam against him. So he's basically Mark Kotsay saying, hey, we need some length from you today.
Yes, we do. It's about the best way you can send that message.
No help is coming, at least not anytime soon, to left field. And a lunging catch by Thomas. Maybe the ball knuckling a little bit, but he got there. End of 3, 4-0 Angels. Off on Peacock is brought to you by Ford. Ready, set, Ford. Some of the many players who have worn both of these uniforms over the years, some great names. Some cult favorites, some all-time greats like Reggie Jackson and Ricky Henderson. I associate Ricky a little more with the A's than the Angels.
Just slightly.
Yeah.
Slightly. The funny thing, I was zipping through the TV just the other day, and I was watching Angels in the outfield. Carney Lansford was in Angels in the outfield.
Indeed.
Wow.
That one by Thomas.
There's an Angel in the outfield right there.
Yeah. Fighting the sun, I think. Wade Meckler, 1 pitch, 1 out. top of the fourth.
Well, there's, I mean, when you look at some of those guys in there, I mean, they play for both teams. I mean, there's incredible. Groove, Don Baylor. Wow. Incredible player.
Stud.
Oh,
stud. I mean, you saw flash of Campy, Bert Campaneris, who has been a mainstay around the athletics organization for a long time. I had the honor of kind of escorting Campy around spring training this year, got him to talk to some of the guys, young right-handed fireballer the A's have from Cuba, Luis Morales. Is Lawrence Butler able to avoid wearing one? And just watching the exchange between he and the young fella was very special. Just talking about where they come from, where they've been, how important it is to believe in yourself. It was just a great message, great moment.
Well, I love how really both these franchises have embraced their history, keep their former players around, celebrate their former players. The Angels earlier this year lost one of the all-time,
still crusher,
all-time greats.
Doesn't feel like it happened. Yeah. Garrett Anderson, in my opinion, I think be reconsidered for the Hall of Fame. When you look at his numbers, over 2,500 hits, he was a phenomenal player, but even better person. That still crushes.
Strike three call. Butler wasn't totally sure on that one. I think he was thinking about it, but that was definitely a strike. 2 down.
Well, Aldegari got the paintbrush out. And I mean, this is just about Aldegari again, getting back to what we talked about before after the long inning. Force feeding strikes and putting this Athletics lineup on the defensive right now, and kind of caught in between when and where to pull the trigger.
And having the hitters sitting on all speed. I mean, you had, I mean, as a guy with a great changeup. I mean, when you think, I've always believed you sit on the fastball, react on the all speed, but when you're sitting on a changeup, it's tough to react. Even 92, that's by you so quickly.
Sure looked like that just happened. 1-1.
Well, the first out of the inning, right? Colby Thomas sitting on a changeup, and sometimes as hitters will tell you, I don't necessarily like to sit on a certain pitch because even if I get it and it's out of the zone, because I got it, I'm committed. But now I'm committed to swinging at a ball. I'm committed to swinging at a pitch that isn't competitive, all because I was sitting on it. So maybe just looking for a fastball that's hittable and being able to adjust to the off speed. I don't want to call it a fail-proof sort of approach, but I think that's one that's been consistent around baseball for a long time.
Muncy pops it up. That should be playable. Bright sunshine and Grissom dodging Muncy. Caught it. Out number 3. So Savali, that was a quick inning right back to the mound. Everything moment brought to you by Universal Orlando Resort. And it was a sequence. We heard Mark Conte talking about it. Dallas, a play that wasn't made led to something much bigger.
And that's exactly what happened. Sort of that avalanche effect. That snowball just got bigger and bigger until Lowe eventually melted it. Melted the snowball, melted the baseball. 4-run shot, first career grand slam. Something the Halos have done a nice job of this year. Gooby, we talked about it, the 6th grand slam, all 6 by different players. And that has been the difference in the ballgame so far, on top of an inefficient Aaron Savali.
And we talk about how the Angels have been so successful scoring runs. It's really, when you go back to this since May 22nd, there's 6 through 9 batters in the lineup have been unbelievable. They had a game against the Dodgers at Dodger Stadium where they had 11 straight hits.
Fair ball. Meneses is going to get there himself. Out number 1.
Well, 6 through 9.
Yep.
Take a look at where that damage happened. Grissom with the knock back in the 2nd to get the base running parade started. Then it was Meckler who worked a walk, a knock from Peraza, and then low down dropped a bomb.
So often as pitchers, when you feel when you get to that bottom part of the lineup, you can take a deep breath. No.
Oh, no.
No. There's so much balance in lineups right now that you can never be in that spot where you're comfortable saying, all right, you know, when you look at the Dodgers, that top 3 in their lineup, you're hyperventilating. But when you look at some of the guys at the bottom of the lineup, they're the ones that have been putting together, they're good at bats and bringing that, you know, base runners up there for that top of the lineup.
Well, I always jokingly say it's like you're a seal that's looking for a breathing hole, a hole in the ice that you can come up and catch a breath. but sometimes, unfortunately, it feels like you're being hunted by a pack of orcas, and that's trouble.
It's a good marine mammal analogy.
Hey, you NorCal guys, you guys Northern California guys.
Yeah.
By the way, they get loud out there at the pier.
They do. That one sinking, but Butler in to make the catch. 2 down. The ultimate goal of an MLB fan, seeing it all. The MLB Journey to 30 sweepstakes presented by T-Mobile is the ultimate bucket list item. Enter now for your chance to win trips to all 30 ballparks. Yes, all 30. MLB.com/journey to 30 sweeps. I do think Oracle Park in San Francisco is the only park where you can see a seal or a sea lion while you're sitting in the stands. I think that's the only one.
Yep, I think you're right. I mean, we've got some seals that are cruising up and down the river there in Sacramento, but there's not a seat in the house that lets you take a peek at both that and maybe a home run at the same time.
I don't think there are any out there. I don't think so. That would be a big accident.
I've never found anything out there yet.
Behind home plate, Langoliers, will he have room? Yes, right in front of the backstop. And for Savali, a much needed, quick, efficient inning. Same game parlay. Henry Bolte will be coming up for the 3rd time. He'll bat 3rd in this 5th inning. Number of pitches over under. Will he get a hit? Will he strike out? Something else? You got some possibilities. First, though, Jeff McNeil 0 for 1. And he lines that first pitch into center field. Base hit.
I was going to say he's almost impossible to strike out, and this is going to be a big inning for Aldegari because now you get a chance at the bottom, then you flip it back up to the top with Bolte, especially. So it's going to be a big one here for him, and Williams has been really good as far as making good contact. I mean, so far StatCast be powered by Google Cloud. What he has done with those outs, 6 on his 4-seam fastball. That is pitching backwards. They're looking changeup, but the 4-seamer has been excellent for him.
Well, Gooby, I'm so glad you said that because a changeup artist sometimes pitching backwards is fastball heavy, right? And it's because they know that they can sit soft and they can expect soft. At some point in time, they're going to get it, even first pitch of the at bat. And if you're able to start to double up on the heater and keep them off balance, that's when that rocking chair really starts to sway. You get them looking out, you bust them in, you keep them honest in, you pull the string and get their nose out over the plate.
That's a big hitter in this game, I think. I mean, we still have a ways to go. It feels so lopsided today, but it's only 4-0 Angels. Williams lines one into left field, base hit.
Fell behind 2-0.
The formula for a big inning. You guys have been talking about it. Bottom of the order, set the table. Then you get your big boys up. The A's haven't set up.
And when Aldegari, when you think 3rd time through the lineup, it jumps up to 333. So this is all of a sudden, this is a huge inning for the Angels and Aldegari, especially with this guy at the plate.
Well, I mean, the next 4 guys really are big power threats with Bolte. Even though he's only got a couple on the season, there is tremendous power to all fields looming. Meneses on deck. He can swing it.
Great chance for the A's right here, right now. Strike 1 to Bolte, who's 0 for 2.
I'm going to say I wouldn't be surprised if that phone started ringing. I think it's already starting to ring down there for the Angels down in the bullpen.
There you go. With a 4-run lead here in the 5th, Kurt Suzuki's going to be aggressive. Bolte swings and misses. It's 0-2.
There's another good 4-seam fastball there on him.
Boring in. Well, and I know this is a game that Kurt Suzuki understands. He just does not want to spoil the big swing from low. So whatever you got to do to procure the lead.
Good take on a high fastball, trying to get him to chase.
So right there as a hitter, you got to be thinking, okay, here comes that changeup.
That's right.
And you could freeze him with a fastball in, but he's got to be thinking, I'm getting a changeup here.
He got it, and he took it.
That allows you, because you're thinking along with him, that if it's not starting at the knees, I'm letting it go.
That's right. That's where, I mean, just like a split finger, right? You see it high, let the hands fly. You see it low, let it go.
On the ground, just foul. He turned on a fastball.
He's a good low ball hitter.
Well, he's because of the strength, he gets extended and it could be damaged. And he's done a nice job in these spots, hitting 304 with runners in scoring position, is Bolte. So he's been able to take advantage of some big spots this season.
He's piled up all those hits with runners in scoring position on Friday. They've been much harder to come by since then. A little squibber to first, and it took a weird hop, but Grissom stayed with it and does get the out. It does move McNeil to third and Williams to second. When you're down 4-0, you're not really trying to give yourself up and move guys over, but it's a productive out.
There you go. A productive out at least is what I think you're trying to walk away from if you're Henry Bolte in that at bat, which he did. Does not find his way on base, but now you're able to turn it over to a guy who, before coming up to the big leagues, was sitting at or near the top of the list in terms of runs driven in Meneses. And his first big league knock this year came with a guy on base.
I mean, he had 76 or 73 RBIs?
Yeah, Gooby.
That's unreal.
Yeah, big guy because
impossible.
He and Guzman right at the top of that list down there in 3A. A couple of guys banging around the baseball.
Aldegari, 2 on, 1 out. Meneses. That's going to be deep enough to get a run home for sure. The catch. Both runners tag. McNeil scores. Williams goes to third. So the A's are on the board. The sacrifice fly. It's 4-1 Angels.
Yeah, if you're Aldegari and the Angels, if you can find your way to just give up 1 run in this inning, you're feeling pretty good.
That's it. Minimize the first 2 guys to get on base. You know that the mindset, as we highlighted, is about productive outs from the Athletics perspective, and here they're able to generate the most productive out they could with a run across, and they're able to pick up another 90 feet. But Aldegari, again, I mean, he's been so good this afternoon, and I think being able to do that, that's minimize the hard contact, minimize the damage.
How upset are you? When you have the catcher walking that slow after the mound, I'm already going, pointing back. Go back to the plate. Go back to the plate. I know what you're doing.
I know it. You're
putting a little Dean Smith on me. You're going 4 corners.
Trying to buy time.
Yes. I'm like, go back.
Fermi, the guy who's warming up in the Angels bullpen. 75 pitches for Aldegari. 3rd time this year he's pitched into the 5th inning. He's given up a run in the 5th inning all 3 times that he's made it here. But I think the point you guys are making is an important one. You give up the 1 here, you're still up 4-1. You're okay with it. Langeliers hasn't made an out yet. He's had a hit and a walk. Very high.
He's got great power to center, right center, left center. I mean, that's why he stays on the baseball really, really well.
Well, he is unafraid to hit it off his belly button, right? Just let that ball travel.
And that is extremely hard to do with the velocity and the spin in the game today. Let the baseball get deeper in the strike zone. It's hard to do that.
You got to really trust yourself.
A dangerous spot here. We'll see how aggressive he is against Langeliers. Drops a curveball in for a strike.
Pitch he throws the least of all his pitches, about 7% of the time curveball.
Well, that's the very definition of stealing a strike when down.
A lot of fastballs. Interesting pitch mix today. Three and one. I mean, you're up 4-1. You're not going to intentionally walk him, but this has to be, you got to be real careful here.
Yeah, but you're also in the mindset of if you want to win, you better get him out, or the bullpen's coming in.
Yeah, true. Change up 3-2.
Generally, when you throw 3-1, you're throwing 3-2.
I was just going to say, you could have sold out 3-1, and if I'm Shea Langeliers, I'm selling the farm on a 3-2 change piece.
What could well be the final hitter of the game for the young left-hander on the mound. Runner at third, 2 down. A run in, 3-2. Got him, and he went with the high fastball.
He had him thinking that, pitching backwards. The kid.
That was pretty impressive. A's get their first run, but only one. Events begin with the HBCU Swingman Classic July 12th. You got the opening rounds of the MLB draft and the futures game, and then on July 13th the home run derby. It all culminates with the 96th Midsummer Classic, Tuesday, July 4th, 10 days after America's birthday in Philadelphia. That will be very cool.
I've had so many family and friends, hey, you got any connections? I go, if I did, I would be going.
Right? The call ball is being challenged by the catcher.
All right, so Langolier's first pitch here of the inning with the A's on the board, but still down 4-1. Langolier's challenging, and
here's the ball. The Athletics have one remaining.
And I think that right there is just trying to buy his veteran some leverage, understanding that every pitch very important right now for Aaron Savali.
On the ground, past the dive of Williams, base hit.
Each day I'm more and more impressed by Denzer Guzman. I mean, his defense at third base has been outstanding. His hands, his throwing arm, but he can swing the bat, and he's got good wheels over at first base. So this could be an action spot here, especially with Shonewell, the way he handles the bat, trying to get the offense back in order after that grand slam. It's been quiet since.
I tell you, Gooby, we've seen a lot of each other over the past 2 weeks or so, and I think just watching Denzer Guzman come up and be the impact player that he has been very impressive, because you start to think about what the future holds and just how much you're probably going to see of him, and the fact that you're watching that thorn grow on the stem of what is hopefully a budding rose for a young group.
Yeah, I joke around. I call him Denzel just because I call him the equalizer for that great movie. He's equalized everything at third base. That's been a spot where it's been no consistency as far as who is your third baseman. He has been that guy now, showing that he can play third base.
Bullpen's working. Alvarado, the right-hander. This is another four corners offense here, just stalling for some time.
That long walk back.
Yeah. How slow can Shea Langoliers walk? What a day for Savali. All things considered, the fact that he has held the line since that grand slam is pretty impressive. Shonewell takes a strike. He's 1 for 2.
It's a little bit bigger lead over at first.
Pop up, shallow center. Who's going to get there? It'll be Bolte. What a play. And then somehow Williams almost did the limbo to get out of the way.
Yeah, real close to a clothesline. But as you said, Dave, somehow, some way able to avoid contact. And I think Bolte, you see the way he ends up catching this ball, instead of getting his body in front of it, kind of opts to take it off to the side, and for very good reason. I mean, that could have looked like an old double play when you and I were playing, Gooby. Someone getting taken out and sitting into an outfield wall. Instead, Williams able to get below the bar.
Over the years, anything hit in the air in this ballpark is an adventure. Day games. It's so hard just to see it because it's such a bright sunshine here.
Sometimes the wind can play a few tricks as it blows through the sort of the stadium bowl, but that turned into a heck of a play. Plus, if one of those parties breaks out like the Dallas and Suzuki used to go to in Vancouver, we know who you're picking.
I need to be invited one of those times.
Hey, you got your limbo team picked out already. Alinka Williams, he's your guy.
Heck of a dodge play.
Ooh, a lot closer. They are going to challenge that.
I think
the Athletics are challenging the same call at first base.
I think they might have gotten him. That's tremendous footwork.
Well, it looked very close. Savali, very quick feet. Luis Severino, who is not healthy right now, also very quick feet. But I think if this does go by way of the Athletics, you got to give credit to Meneses, who's, I think we see it in the middle of the diamond as well, Gooby, but just trying to let the ball travel as much as you can to be able to catch it and then apply a tag. And it looks like that tag may have gotten down there on the inner thigh just before the hand gets to the bag.
Real close. You always dive to that back part of the bag for a right-handed throwing first base. It's a longer tag lefty. He's definitely going to get him. Normally, a left-handed throwing first base.
The call the field is overturned. The runner is out. Athletics are taking.
All right, didn't take long. That's pickoff out. And Guzman hasn't gotten word yet.
Third career pickoff for Savali.
Well, that
all
right
that
there,
footwork for the right-handed pitcher.
And you know as good as anybody, you don't have the luxury of staring down that runner and lifting the leg and maybe reading if he's taken off on your first move. But that's a huge out for Savali in the Athletics right now.
Adele, a sky-high pop foul out of play.
Well, he's just missed a couple of bats already in this day. This has been slightly out in front. His launch angle has been extremely high. That was a 61-degree launch angle. He's had another one at 48. Usually when you think of Joe Adele, and he's hit so many baseballs extremely hard on the ground, he's trying to lift the baseball now to get in the air.
Well, yesterday, the 2 balls that he hit hard down the left field line, both of them hard, low liners.
Yep.
Another foul ball.
I'm looking at you, Dal. You're looking up there again.
Well, Gooby, you're not a little fella that I'm going to have to end up maneuvering around if I'm going to make a play.
I got a broken leg from a baseball. I'm staying out of the way.
Please do. He got him with a foul tip. Strike 3. Savali finishes 5. It's 4-1 Angels. Belongs to the Villa. Get ready for a sizzling new season of Love Island USA, hosted by Ariana Maddox, streaming now only on Peacock. Jose Fermin out of the Angels bullpen, so Aldigueri goes 5, and now Fermin takes over.
Yeah, upper 90s fastball, a slider that sometimes will back up on him. Also with an occasional curve and changeup, but if he trusts his fastball, he can be real good.
First pitch foul off the bat of Jonah Heim. Well, I thought the left-hander Sam Aldigueri pitched really well today.
And I think his fastball really made his changeup that much better. He had a couple punch-outs with his changeup, but really, for me, Dal and David, it's his fastball today. It was really, really effective.
Well, I think the way he put a cap on his outing with the punch-out of Langoliers on that fastball, we were all thinking about it. Probably going to be a changeup here, and I think Langoliers beat to the spot because he was probably thinking changeup as well. And I think that shows the aptitude of the young left-hander, not only to have the confidence in the pitch selection, but the conviction to deliver it against one of the game's prolific power hitters in Shea Langoliers.
Yeah, you could try to trick a hitter, think, oh, he's looking fast, change up. But if you're throwing a fastball, you've got to believe that I can make that pitch with the fastball and hit my spot to get a great hitter out like that.
That was just a cool moment for a young guy. Heim on the ground toward the middle, over to backhanded, nice play, and pulled out of the dirt. Peraza to Grissom, 1 away.
He's an outstanding glove, no matter where you put him. Coming up through the Yankees organization, shortstop, this is a great glove. And when you look about defensive run saves, it's been a struggle for the infield for the Angels, but that's been the one plus so far as Peraza. And he's got a great throwing arm, great range. He's made a lot of solid plays at second.
Well, and I think the wherewithal, understanding that his momentum taking him into the outfield, not going to try to make that throw on the fly. Go ahead and use Mother Earth. She can be your best friend. Nice little bounce pass.
And Grissom, as an infielder, he's fielding that as if he's in it. He doesn't have a lot of experience over at first base, so he's fielding that as if he's, you know, that little throw over at second. He's going to feel like almost like a catcher.
Dallas is such a California. Use Mother Earth.
I mean, it is. It's a great effort. And we saw a couple backhand plays not go the way of the Halos earlier in this series, but this time around,
he sees it, catch it. He brought it into the strike zone. You go to the ABS, it's a strike.
Little frame job.
He looked like a catcher at the Little League World Series. Rip it 4 feet.
Right off the thigh. Something you didn't used to see quite a bit until the new mechanical setup behind the plate became so prevalent.
Thomas goes down swinging on that hard slider. Basically, every catcher that we talk to believes in that setup. The 1 knee down setup gives you a much better chance to frame. Catchers feel like as long as it's not a big miss side to side, they can block just as well or better. But there is no doubt that they are more exposed to foul balls off the leg, off a lot of places with that setup.
I mean, Logan O'Hoppy's been hit more than anybody I've ever seen. That's a big guy behind the plate to begin with, man. So many times. But you wonder, though, as we go along with more of the ABS, is that even come into play, the framing.
And that's something that I think we'll start to see. I mean, not to get into a story here, but you think about the evolution of the catching position and the demand, obviously working, trying to scoop up that low strike and make it presentable. But now, to what extent is that going to matter? And will you start to see the shift from the defensive priorities of the position back to just being more offensive driven, because you're going to have, or at least an opportunity to automate some of the strike zone with the extent of the challenges, but how that continues to grow remains to be seen.
Butler hits a liner, caught by Neto, and Fermin came out of the bullpen throwing strikes, retires the A's in order. Shop.com, from official jerseys and memorabilia to hats and hoodies, we've got the season covered. Scan QR code or visit MLBshop.com, the official source of your favorite team gear. Angels A's, they've been playing each other a lot lately. 7 meetings in the last 2 weeks between these two. Final game of this series on this Sunday, and the A's into their bullpen now with the right-hander Elvis Alvarado.
Yeah, Elvis opened up a residency in Vegas during that series, and he was outstanding. Started to log a couple saves that were very impressive, but I think since then has been a bit of a stumble for the right-hander because he's got big-time stuff, and he's got a 100-mile-an-hour fastball. He's got a slider. He's got a split. I think the slider at times, as you get a peek at, has left a little to be desired. Maybe not quite the finish you would expect on that pitch, but when it is right, he is one of the tougher guys to barrel up. It's just unfortunately been a little too far and few in between.
4-1 Angels, bottom 6. Grissom leading off against Alvarado. I know the move to Vegas is still a year plus away, so it's not till 2028. You got to find a way to keep this guy on the team, at least have him ready to go in 2028. There's got to be an Elvis when you're moving to Vegas.
I mean, there's a lot of possibilities, and I can bet you that the marketing department is probably hoping and wishing on that.
It'll be a dress-up day there. We've been dressing up as this Elvis.
Wow.
When you throw like that, they'll all be dressing up like Elvis. That fastball there. Ooh, 98.
And Gooby, think about it. Somebody who featured stuff very similar to this, right? That big, hard, heavy, high-velocity sinker. You got a wipe-out slider to go along with it. If you're able to create intersections like that on both sides of the plate, it becomes very tough.
Got him. It just blew him away with the 4-seam at 99.
That's why, like, you wonder why sometimes pitchers come out of the bullpen and they end up throwing a lot more breakables when you can throw that hard. Well-located fastball is still the most difficult pitch to hit. It is. Even though a lot of data will say the hardest pitch to hit really is a nasty breakable, but if you throw it good every time, it's going to be a swing and miss. But if it's in the plate, it's going to be crushed.
Well, that's what makes those breaking balls so nasty, is the fact that you got to gear up for that one right there. 100 miles an hour. I mean, it's one thing to have the confidence to spin the ball one after another and feel good about your chances at swing and miss, but those chances go way up when you've got to gear up for 100+ miles an hour.
Beckler's been on both times. Out in front there, the slider.
You can see that swing after that fastball before that.
Slider almost acts like a changeup there, where you're just so far out in front.
Oh,
that's why I think it's so hard to hit nowadays. I mean, so often we talked about that. It's difficult for hitters. It really is. It's all about the Benjamins on that, but that's 101 though.
Ooh. That's what these guys are geared up to hit, and I mean, you both know it. These hitters they'll time a missile, giving them an opportunity to do so.
Beckler, and caught by Meneses, just didn't hit it quite hard enough.
Craving more baseball? Just tell Siri, show me today's MLB schedule.
Now 2 down, and Peraza comes up. He's 1 for 2. Both starters go 5, and really, when you think back to the second inning, the fact that Aaron Savali did manage to finish 5 innings today, give him some credit for that. It wasn't pretty at times.
No, it's a gutsy performance. It is to be able to get through 5, and I've kind of balked at phrasing it that way at times.
tell an old timer that, and he's not real happy. But a 44-pitch second inning, and he managed to finish 5 innings. Star-Spangled Sunday. All 15 games across the big leagues, starting with Mets Braves at 12 Eastern. And then, of course, on Peacock, you got multi-view presented by Ford. Lets you watch up to 4 MLB games at once during Star-Spangled Sunday, a curated way to stay across the action without choosing just one game. The day after July 4th, Star-Spangled Sunday, 1 week from today. We're halfway through the big league season. The midway point has come and gone. And the All-Star break sort of always feels like the midway point, but in terms of number of games played, these two teams now are on the back half of the schedule.
And when you look at it, how many teams feel they actually legitimately have a chance for the postseason?
A lot.
Really, you don't see anybody where you think, okay, we're tapped out, we're done.
Not many, at least.
Yeah. Especially in the American League, that's for sure.
If you have a pulse in the American League, you got a shot.
You are in.
Friendly call there. Fermin ahead of Muncy 1-2.
A lot of times Kurt Suzuki doesn't like to go to his bullpen multiple innings with guys. A lot of them. He doesn't. Usually 1 inning and then it go down. That's why you see a bullpen action going already.
Muncy out towards left center. Out number 1.
Well, Gooby, this will be the 7th time that Fermin has been out there for outings of 4 outs or more. And he's done a pretty good job. Has gone unscathed in those moments. But to your point, I think you see the contingency plan starting to warm up right now in Atera. And on the flip side of that coin, left-hander for the Athletics, Suarez starting to crank as well.
And the fans and the Angels know him real well.
They do.
Jeff McNeil takes the ball. John, you talked to some of the A's players over the last couple of days about being in the race in the division in the American League.
That's right, guys. I did catch up with Nick Kurtz yesterday, and he said our advantage is that we are never out of a game. 22 comeback wins by this Athletics team this year. It leads the American League. I said to Nick, what do you attribute that to? He said, in-game, the conversation. When you have a Jeff McNeil, when you have a Jonah Heim who's tasted a championship, that matters. We have real dialogue. Nobody's afraid to bring different things to the table, and we adapt within the course of the game.
By the way, they do have that giant human being in the dugout right there. I mean, on the bench, ready to hit at some point.
He is definitely looming. Nick Kurtz not in the starting lineup for only the 2nd time all year. And I know he looks sort of relaxed and kicking back. There's no doubt that in the last couple innings of this game, he's going to get ready if the A's have a spot where they can use him.
Well, I promise you, he's been down to the cage. He's been moving around.
McNeil, will that be playable? No, it would have been, but Guzman lost it in the bright sun. Well,
and that angle sometimes going there too as a third baseman. Once you look up, especially that angle he's going. Well, no sunglasses either there. He went Phil Collins, no sunglasses required.
There you go.
Well, I think they might have been.
Yeah, it might have been helpful there. You could tell as soon as he took that look up as he was sprinting, looking back, he was blinded.
Well, the sun is undefeated.
Yeah. And the day games here in this park, a challenge.
You don't want to give this guy another chance to swing the bat because he is a contact machine.
He's got a hit and the only A's run. He pulls that one to right. Adele. He called off the center fielder who was 250 feet away.
I got it.
That's good communication.
It's paramount.
When Bryce Teodosio was here, he was Kelly Leak. He would have ran over and tried to catch it in front. There was a couple times where Joe go, whoa, it's right at me. He goes, I'm sorry. But he would like fly out there in the outfield all the time.
Yeah, Josh Lowe, that was yours, buddy.
Yes.
So 2 down. And the 9th place hitter Williams takes a ball. Williams had a base hit to fuel the rally in the 5th inning.
That's where he has his hands down there, so he has that swing. It's going to be really quick and direct to the baseball. Kotze was talking about that, his glove, but now you're seeing some pretty decent things with his bat, the way he's hit the ball.
And I think just like any position player, the more run you get on regularity, the more opportunity you have to get comfortable at the plate.
I mean, he's not a big guy. You walk by him and you sort of think, that's the starting shortstop, and yet he's generating some exit velocities, hitting the ball pretty hard. He finds a way to get into a little power.
And you see him, you see the setup, and not only the height of the hands, but the gesturing, right? And that's just an effort to try to create some fluidity with himself and make sure that he's not up there rigid and stiff. And I mean, hitters like to use those certain things as timing mechanisms just to keep themselves ready to fire.
That one popped up. Grissom, he's got the sunglasses on, and he squeezes it out. Number 3. 2 good innings for Fermin out of the pen. 4-1 Angels, and let's get to our play of the game presented by TikTok. That guy you just saw in the dugout, Josh Lowe. Bases loaded in the second. Fouled one off. Oh, boy. Got up and did that. His first career grand slam. All 4 runs today for the Angels on one swing of the bat. That made him feel a whole lot better.
He made sure he got the barrel out there quickly on that one.
Be no second foul ball.
Yes, no more. And just for that, he's getting pitch hit for.
Man, tough league. You hit a grand slam in a game and you can't finish the game.
Hang with him. Sometimes that's just how the chessboard plays, though. Right now, Jose Suarez on for the Athletics. Kurt Suzuki pressing the button, and it's Siri that he's called on.
He's an excellent outfielder, tremendous center fielder.
I think that's part of this. You get the right on left matchup, but then for the last couple innings, you got a 3-run lead. You get your absolute best center fielder in the game.
Yeah, when you look at his defensive runs saved over his career in center field, it's dramatic for him.
Suarez, third pitcher of the game for the A's. Changeup.
Always had a good changeup. He has good ride on his fastball too, and his breaking ball. Seemed like he had been getting caught in between his curveball and his slider. It feels like he's throwing his slider a little bit more so, you think, Dal?
Well, it's something that we talk about a lot with guys that have multiple breaking balls, the blending of the two. And I think being able to commit to one and sharpen that up as opposed to having maybe 2 average offerings, you're able to commit to one, and that becomes that much better. And it feels like it becomes better quicker because you have fully sold out to executing one rather than both.
Two and two.
Suarez, he's been a guy the A's have. I mean, the Athletics saw him early in the season when he was a starter with the Atlanta Braves, and then since acquiring him, they've been able to use him at times as a bridge.
So you want to be a catcher?
Not for the faint of heart.
No, it is not.
2 and 2. I promise I'm not laughing. Strike 3 called. Maybe just a tiny bit. 1 out. T-Mobile, America's best network, connects you to America's pastime. And now Heineman, the 9th place hitter, comes up. Switch hitter. He'll bat right-handed against Suarez. Angels have had 3 singles since that grand slam, or since the second inning at least.
This really wouldn't be an A's and Angel game if it wasn't a tight game like it turned out to be. Every single game. You go back to 2002, how close it's been as far as win-losses between the two teams, how close the games have been, and how close the games have been this year too.
Well, it feels like, and I know it might sound generic to say, but you can throw the records out the window. It feels like these two teams just play kind of a different brand of baseball against each other, and that's, in my opinion, what being a division rival is kind of all about, right? And I think it's nice to be able to get that kind of brand of baseball, especially for two teams that we've kind of highlighted, where the Angels maybe just a good series or 2 away from being right smack dab in the middle of things from a division race perspective, but again, a wild card hunt. And the Athletics trying to hold on as they try to navigate some injuries, some nicks and dings.
ground, picked it short. Williams spins and got it. Nice play.
Real nice play there at short.
Well, Alika Williams in the ballgame again because Jacob Wilson dealing with some of those nicks and dings that we mentioned, and saw a play similar to this one last night where Alika was not able to make the play. Kind of gave himself a little ground. Unfortunately, not able to get the throw over in time. Ball sailed a bit, but this one, a much better job from start to finish.
These are the moments Zach Neto generally will try to do some damage here, especially with nobody on base. He's got that power. He's got that power. When you look at him, the punch out's been a part of his game, yes. When you look about his extra base hits, 35 from your leadoff spot. That's pretty impressive.
What do you think about the trade-off? I mean, he was definitely sold out for more power, more swing and miss, less base hits. The average is at 223.
Well, I think if it's a situation where you can pick your spots, I think that's a great attribute to have. I think based on who else is in the lineup on any given day, and again, to the point of listening to the game, in this spot, to Gooby's point, it's a good chance for him to get big here and do some damage, as opposed to maybe cutting the swing down with runners on second and third, less than 2 outs. Ball in play can do you a favor.
You've had a lot of success that we talked about earlier, the bottom part of the lineup. So a lot of times guys are on base. He's trying to do multiple run damage with a swing in the bat or an extra base hit to drive in a run. And he's still stealing some bags. He's got 11 stolen bases. He was a 20-20-20 guy last year with 20 home runs, 20 plus doubles, 20 plus stolen bases. So he's on pace to do that again this year easily.
Ahead of the count, 2-1. Way out in front of that changeup, 2-2.
And something I've highlighted about the swing and miss that has come along with Neto. For Tony Gwynn, over the course of his first 4 seasons, logging 300 plus at bats, he punched out a total of 112 times. Zach Neto sitting on 119 strikeouts right now before the All-Star break.
I know, that is unreal.
That one to center field. Bolte with room. Out number 3. So Suarez retires the Angels in order. From Fenway Park, Sunday Night Baseball tonight on NBC and Peacock. Roger Clemens is going to be in the booth for that game. Of course, nobody knows that rivalry like Roger Clemens does from both sides of it. So, and the Yankees need a win. They do. Ryan Sefferjohn, who's done a nice job, especially lately, takes over on the mound for the Angels.
A lot more trust in his fastball, and he's touched 100 miles an hour so often in the beginning part of the year. He would throw an automatic sweeper first pitch, cutter. Hitters identified that. If it got in the strike zone, and if it wasn't out of the strike zone, we're taking it, so they're forcing him in. He's got a lot more trust in his fastball, and it's been electric over his last about 10 plus innings now.
Even the Rocket, I mean, Roger Clemens, one of the great power pitchers of all time. I don't know how many he threw at 100. 100 is a lot.
Yeah, it's. Well, I mean, look. Okay. We used to say after about 96, 97, you just start listening for the baseball, because good luck seeing it. I mean, and you saw it last night. Sefferjohn came into the ball game, had a clean 7th inning, blowing chundos. I mean, it is tough to put a barrel on that.
The big thing is, though, when he struggles, it's with pitches out of the strike zone. So this is a big at bat for him. You know, he's kind of waiting around in that dugout over there still.
100%. I would think this is a spot where, I mean, you got Meneses on deck. It's a 3-run lead. Ball 3. And Mark Kotze's got to be going through some ideas about when can I use my big weapon off the bench today.
Right.
4-pitch walk.
At Ace, no matter how you grill, we've got the perfect one for you. Because only your local Ace has all the best brands in one place, like Weber, Big Green Egg, Traeger, and Blackstone. That sounds pretty perfect.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
See, this is the danger spot now for Sefferjohn, that lead-off walk.
And a shot of Kurtz down in that dugout, kind of looming.
Yeah. Well, he's walking around. You got Meneses at the dish right now. The backstop, Langoliers on deck. Jonah Heim, the DH, who's kind of hanging out. You do get your left on right matchup with Heim, but Kurtz with maybe just a bit more power that he's going to bring to the table.
Just a bit.
I mean, we asked Kurt Suzuki before the game. So with Kurt's not in the starting lineup, I mean, that's, yeah, the Angels aren't going to protest that. But are you thinking about him as the game goes on? He about jumped over his desk. He's like, oh, God, yes.
Yeah, he said, I'm going to know if he's in the building.
Yes.
Meaning if he makes his way to the ballpark, I'm thinking about it.
And we saw Elvis pitching earlier for a bit. He knows that Elvis is in the building here now, too.
Yes, sir.
Again, it pitches out of the strike zone, overthrown at for Zephyr-John. Pitched yesterday. Not even close.
Not close. That's 7 pitches, 1 strike.
He's had a stretch about 10 innings with no hits allowed.
And he's been nasty.
Good.
Gooby,
Yes.
his stuff is, again, when located in or just near the strike zone, a tough at bat.
It's now 8 pitches and 1 strike. And add another one. That is back-to-back walks. And when you get a 4-1 lead, that is literally the last thing you want.
And you have this guy coming to the plate right now, too.
Indeed. So Mike Maddox making his way to the mound. MLB app has you covered all season long. Get personalized highlights and push notifications just for you. Download the MLB app, the #1 app for live baseball. Mike Maddox always puts a hand on the shoulder. I would have thought this might have been a 2 hands on the shoulder. For he breaks open the emergency box every once in a while and does the double shoulder grab.
Let's to really feel the heartbeat, right? I want to feel the pulse. I want to feel what you're feeling right now, because I think Mike Maddox trying to do everything he can just to calm things down for Zephyr-John, because again, a huge weapon for the Halos to have out of their bullpen, but has put himself in a tight spot right now with 2 on, nobody out.
And Maddox has been so good with that. That the first thing he always says, hey, just relax. You're 1 pitch away from a double play ball. I mean, he's that good. He's a calming presence.
So Langoliers with 19 home runs. 2 on, nobody out. 1 swing away from tying this game, and a big strike from Zephyr-John. He needed that. Ball on the sweeper. It's 0-2.
Much better one because he was able to establish throwing a strike with his fastball.
Well, if it's a slider out of the hand that's a strike for a long time, you're going to get the swing. You're going to get the commit right now, and I think that's what he's trying to induce is difficult swing decisions for Shea Langoliers right now. And so I wouldn't be surprised to see him try to throw another slider in that same spot with the confidence that he can go back to a fastball at some point in time.
And Langoliers has rolled into 4 double plays, so that's what the mindset has to be here, to try to get him towards the end of the bat on this sweeper or slider, whatever he wants to go to.
He missed badly with the fastball. That's one of those sort of non-competitive pitches where out of the hand it's a ball.
And don't you, as a hitter now, don't you think I'm sitting sweeper now? He wasn't committed to throwing. When he's really good, he'll come right back with another fastball if he's confident with it.
Another fastball, another miss.
That's why I think, man, you got the swing you were looking for on the slider. That's where you know, as we say, you take him for a walk. See if you can't get him to go just a little bit further out there on the next one, knowing that you're in a spot where you can create some leverage for yourself.
Hitter's already set himself up. Why do you need to throw a pitch to set up?
Got him. He stayed with the fastball at 99 miles an hour for a huge first out. Well, it worked out.
Yeah. And he had to be thinking sweeper there, but when he's feeling good and confident with his fastball, it's a really good pitch.
Well, and I think the tale of the tape this afternoon, guys, has been the success and lack thereof with runners in scoring position.
All those hits on what they have 8. A's had 8 hits on Friday night with runners in scoring position in 1 game, and they've had 1 in the 2 games since. And Langoliers has been the guy. He's had a couple good opportunities. Heim out in front.
And we've seen Jonah Heim many times over the years. If you're an Angel fan or an Angel player, the one thing you're going to make him do, you're going to make him beat you the other way.
That's it.
Because he is so quick in the inside fastball. He's done it already this year against the Halos on a fastball in. You got to stay away and trust he'll get himself out.
Not that far away, though.
Yeah.
Well, here's what you're talking about, Gooby. Go back towards the end of June. Jonah Heim with a big homer changed the complexion of that ball game entirely.
And Dallas, you've already talked about it. So many of his teammates have spoken about how this is the guy we like up there in these big spots, Jonah Heim. You got all these young stars, but Jonah just has a knack.
He's shown an ability to get the big hit in a big spot.
Foul ball, 2-2.
Got him out in front on that one just enough to change the speeds on that.
Yeah, might have gotten away with a location mistake because of that. 0 for 5 today with runners in scoring position. Really just one swing of the bat from being right back in this game. Down 4-1 in the 8th inning.
Got ass upstairs again. 99. Agent 99-11. Yeah, here he comes. And here goes Efferjohn. He'll be taking a few steps to that dugout.
Well, you got a chance to tie the game. You don't guarantee that in the 9th inning, so you play your big card here where one swing could tie it. And Kurt Suzuki's coming out to try to get the best possible matchup.
This is what makes baseball so great. I mean, this is what you want. If you're watching this game, this is exactly the moment you want to watch.
So the Angels are going to bring in a lefty. Nick Kurtz is coming up with 2 on and 2 out. The Angels on one swing of the bat. They lead 4-1. A grand slam has been the difference. But now the A's with their young superstar slugger Nick Kurtz not in the starting lineup. They use him as a pinch hitter. Sammy Deterra out of the bullpen for the Angels, a left-hander, and he can't hear the pitch com. 2 on, 2 out. Only the 8th big league appearance for this kid, and he's done a really nice job. But this is a pressure-filled situation when you face the big boy in the batter's box.
Well, he's got a tall task ahead of him right now. Nick Kurtz, remember, coming off the bench, 1 for 1 in his career as a pinch hitter, 2-run homer. And just to add some more context to the situation, you see there 407 with runners in scoring position. He's hitting 271 against left-handers, 391 with runners in scoring position against left-handers. So you got a guy on second base. The guy on the mound is a southpaw. Right now, I think leverage could lean towards Nick Kurtz, but you got a tough customer in Deterra Jr. on the bump.
Yeah, he faced Cal Raleigh in the World Baseball Classic, and he punched him out, and that's the Cal Raleigh in there, in that big moment there. So yes, just being around him and talking to him, he's got a tremendous edge about him. Even though he's young like this, he's got a great edge.
1-1 to Kurtz. He hits a high, towering fly ball that sounded like an explosion off his bat. And right to the center fielder, Siri.
Is always entertainment in itself.
And Kurtz felt like he just missed one there. I mean, to say he just missed it, that was 110 off the bat.
110. His old saying is he hit it too high. He had a 51-degree launch angle, but 110. I thought off the bat, this is going to be way up there in the batter's eye.
I mean, just listen. But you know what, Gooby, to your point, you punch out Cal Raleigh on one of the game's biggest and brightest stages in the WBC. You come into a spot like this as a young left-hander facing the former Rookie of the Year in a tight spot where one swing could completely change everything. That's how the legend starts to grow for yourself. So a tip of the cap, because a very impressive at-bat there for Deterra Jr. to dispose of the prolific power hitter that is Nick Kurtz.
He went right after him.
That's it. Come and get it,
right after him. Pretty good indication he wants to be out there. Now, when you walk out, you're on the mound, you see him walk into the batter's box, you see how much damage he's done against the Angels this year and even in his young career. Yet you go right after him. That tells you that he's got the guts to be in those big spots.
And I think that's got to put a smile on Kurt Suzuki's face.
Guzman, 2-2. And on the other hand, I mean, it's disappointing you come to the ballpark. Nick Kurtz has blossomed into maybe the most fun young slugger in the game, certainly one of them. And he's not in the lineup, but then the cool part is you get to pick your spot with him. And they picked the spot where he could change the whole game with one swing, and he almost did it.
Yes, that sound, we got headsets on it. It was still loud. Woo, still extremely loud. Talking about that monster truck having an event here. Oh yeah, that was the monster swing.
Struck him out with the fastball. Well, another reminder, the 2026 MLB All-Star Week is almost upon us. You get the HBCU Swingman Classic first, July 12th, the All-Star Futures Game, and MLB X All-Star 3-on-3. Home Run Derby on the 13th, and the 96th Midsummer Classic on Tuesday, July 14th from Philadelphia. Shotwell, big bouncer to first, and he's gone on one pitch, two down.
The interesting thing here too is, we were talking about Kurt Suzuki, who's available out of the bullpen today. Well, it looks like Terra's going right back out there for the ninth.
And I feel like if you go out and you win a matchup like he just did, the only concern you may have is any sort of adrenaline dump facing a big lefty like that and getting a big out in that moment. But I think this, again, Gooby, is something that could probably lend itself to the growing of the confidence of the individual. And when you have a 3-run cushion and you got a lefty that you're confident in, it's a great chance for the manager to inject even more confidence in his young southpaw.
So we'll see. Does look like it'll be the young lefty, and we're going to find out real soon. Suarez throws him out. Adele gone on one pitch, and we go to the ninth in Anaheim. Monsters is the genius and totally true story. Sure. About two minions who set out to make a movie and unwittingly unleash monsters onto the world. See Minions and Monsters only in theaters July 1st. Tickets on sale now. They're going to be seeing it.
Wasn't there a monster who was up last half inning for the Athletics and Nick Kurtz?
We just missed our chance to get the promo in.
Oh my, is he a monster at the plate.
Lawrence Butler, A's are down to their final 3 outs, down 4-1. All the runs for the Angels today on one swing of the bat. And Butler now ahead of the count 2-0. First career save chance maybe for Natera. We'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, not quite John Franco.
No, I don't think this is a guarantee he's getting the inning no matter what, and especially if he walks the leadoff hitter. That's what got the Angels in trouble last inning and set the stage for Kurtz, who almost made him pay for it. I mean, this needs to be a strike. Angels have a right-hander. Bachman up in the pen. Yeah, this is a strike.
The bullpen has been better, but if there's one thing that there's been a concern is the walks out of the bullpen, and as a bullpen arm, that's the one thing you cannot do is walk a batter, free pass.
Especially you're up 3. Got the call. A's have a challenge left. Count 3-2. Now Butler's going to use his timeout.
It's a smart move, especially with a young pitcher on the mound. You got the adrenaline going. You got back into the count. That's a smart veteran move right there. The best I've ever seen, it was Ricky Henderson, was that he knew exactly when to step out is to really frustrate you. And like, I know what you're doing. Then all of a sudden you have that letdown, the mental letdown.
You want to talk about a gamesman, Ricky.
Yeah.
Another 3-2. Butler, another foul ball.
Just force feeding the left-hander fastballs. Wonder if at some point in time Natera might want to put a little wrinkle in it. But you got 95 left on left. Come and get it.
Just make him swing his way on the base. If that's your best pitch and that's his best pitch, you got to go after it right now, regardless if he's thrown enough fastballs to him.
Butler, a little bloop into left center, and it gets down. So Butler, he's on for the second time, and that's a good start for the A's here in the 9th inning.
What is now you're able to start to creep towards the bottom of the lineup, and much like we've seen the Halos, the Athletics have had some success with the bottom of their lineup throughout the season. It'll be Max Muncy on now. Has had a bit of a struggle against left-handers. 196 against southpaws. Does have a long ball on the year.
5 of their 6 hits have been from the 6 down in the lineup today.
Once he's got a hit, Butler's got 2. McNeil and Williams each have a hit. Just the 1 run. Trying to build a rally here in the 9th inning.
You know how good the Athletics are coming back in games. There's no one comfortable in that Angels dugout whatsoever, or in the stands.
That sort of never say die attitude now with some of their big boys not in the lineup today. Maybe he feels a little different. That's ball 2. 23 come from behind wins this year. No Wilson. Kurtz has already been used. No Soderstrom. No Geloff. That's a lot of firepower. Here's a strike.
That was just a great at bat, by the way, by Butler to be able to punch that in the outfield. Knowing that's his job, is to set the table. Didn't try to hit it out of the ballpark.
And it's Muncy's job too. Dallas mentions he's got some power. He's got a home run against a lefty this year, but you're down 3. Just keep the line moving.
Just keep passing the baton. That's the name of the game right now.
Good hitters count here, 3-1 against the lefty. Pretty good swing at that one. 3-2.
Back-to-back 3-2 counts. A lot of heaters. I think you can get Muncy to chase a breaker ball if he decided to go a slider here, though.
Especially if he's sold out to the fastball.
Over. Butler cannot get picked off. You gotta at all costs, you can't let that happen.
Nor should you be overly concerned about him at first base either.
Not impactful right now.
Got him with the fastball at 94 miles an hour. So once he got ahead of the count, but Matera strikes him out.
It's that whip action he has on his delivery. He hides the baseball really well too. Sometimes that's deception's better than overall velocity, in my opinion.
Sure.
Pitchers.
Well, that's where we start to talk about perceived velocity.
1 out for McNeil. He takes a ball. That's a huge first out. Yeah, it was such a big pitch. If you walk Muncy or he gets on base, you got 2 on, you got nobody out, and you got the tying run at the plate. Now a ground ball away from ending this game, perhaps. But he's falling behind another hitter. It's a hard way to survive as a pitcher if you're behind 2-0 every at bat.
Yeah, you put yourself in a position you're going to have to groove one down the middle of the plate, and you're just hoping the hitter isn't on it at that point.
I know those numbers for McNeil left on left aren't good. He's a capable left on left hitter. He is.
Yeah, he makes contact so well, and if I'm left side of the infield or the left fielder, I'm thinking that baseball is coming my way.
Sure. Something the left-handers like to do against that left-handed matchup is just try to stay close down the baseball as long as you can.
See what he's doing. He's just trying to punch it that way. He's going to make you make a play. He's going to make contact. There's no doubt in my mind he's going to make contact here. It's amazing though. Guzman's really shifted more so. He's playing shortstop. There's a lot of room that side of the infield.
Yeah, if Jed McNeil can just kind of fillet one over to the left side, I mean, there's a good chance Lawrence Butler finds his way over to third base.
You've seen that a lot. He's done that quite a bit.
He went to left, but really kind of popped it up. Meckler, 2 down. A's are down to their final out. And with Williams, the 9th place hitter up. We'll see if Suzuki sticks with the lefty. I don't think there was any doubt of what McNeil was trying to do. Just couldn't pull it off.
It was elevated too high for him to hit the ball down on the ground.
Yeah, and I mean you can see him trying to keep the hands in as far as he could, but with the elevation, just a tough task.
2 outs, 9th inning, 4-1 Angels. Butler takes off. Williams swings and misses. The Angels don't defend that. No steal for Butler. Oh, and 2.
Says, you know what? I miss throwing fastballs, by the way.
Come and get
every pitch.
It's pretty simple right now for Natera. Halo faithful on their feet.
0-2. Got him with the fastball. And he's pumped. He got Kurtz in the 8th. He gets 3 outs in the 9th. He gets the save. The Angels win the game, and they take the series 2-1.
The beauty of baseball, his first career save is the afternoon after Kirby Yates got his 100th career save last night. A grand slam by Josh Lowe, that's it. And the Angels won another home series, 4 in a row. They haven't done that in a couple years.
And I think to be able to punctuate it with exactly what you just talked about, to be able to lock down ball games back-to-back for the first time, you get a couple saves, one from the young left-hander, and you tip your cap to Aldegari because he pitched a heck of a ball game, got through 5 innings, just 1 run that did heal out, and then I think Savali, who tried to battle after a very, very laborious second inning, was able to squeeze 5 out of him. But the Athletics just not able to mount any sort of offensive threat throughout the ball game. Just 1 run pushed across for them.
So a 4-1 final. Angels win. 1 swing of the bat was the difference. The guy who took that swing is going to visit with John Fanta when we come back to Anaheim.